Good to see you.
Thank you, Joe.
Always good to see you,
It's
my
always
man.
good seeing you, man. I always say, like, you give the best hugs. Like the UFC the other night when I saw you,
Yeah.
and you came up, you just wrap it up. I love it. I'm a hug guy, too.
Yeah.
I think it shows your emotion.
I love a real hug, yeah. A real hug where someone loves you,
Yeah.
you know? You know I love you, so I
I-
give you a love hug.
I know you love me. I know you love me.
We've been friends for a long time, brother.
I know.
We really have. It's nice, like, having friends that you've been friends with for just decades, you know?
I always say, I've said this before, but I always say, you're like, I never had a brother growing up. And you've always been pretty honest with me, the way a big brother would be. And you've always come from a place of love. I remember the whole reason I was doing nothing and fucking nothing. I'm sitting in the backstage of the store with you, and you go, Tommy's doing theaters. And I said, okay. And you need to be doing theaters. I was like, okay. And you're like, you need a Netflix special. You need to get one. I was like, all right, Joe, how am I supposed to do that? And you go, be undeniable. And you just walked away. And I fucking was like, that's the kind of mentorship you look for in a friend. That's who you want to be around. Surround yourself with great white sharks, and people think you're a great white shark.
Well, you were always really fun and really funny, but you were always doing these Travel Channel shows.
Yeah.
And this is what drove me crazy. I remember the day. We've talked about it before, but I remember the day. I was in the Comedy Store, and I was calling you from the main room, and you were on a motorcycle in Vietnam. And I think you were drunk. And
I was drunk and high. Two things you're not supposed to be on a motorcycle: no helmet, in flip-flops.
Which, by the way, it's a fun way to catch somebody. When you call someone and you're going to go on stage in like 20 minutes, I'm just checking in on you, see what's going on. And you're on a fucking motorcycle in Vietnam. I'm laughing. But then I was like, dude, you really need to dedicate yourself to stand-up. Like, this is a trap. It's a velvet prison. These TV shows are a velvet prison. And when you're on the Travel Channel, you're not even getting, well, you're making great money, right? But you're not getting, I can retire now money.
No.
There's no fuck you money. It's I can live well money. You know, it's a great job. But it's one of those jobs where at a certain point in time, you got to go, okay, I have to jump ship. Like, you know, I can't keep doing this. Like, this is going to fuck up everything else I'm doing.
It's hard to pull that trigger, too, because like with kids and a family and a house. And,
Yep.
And you go, okay, it's not great money, but it's good money.
Yeah.
And the road was not great money. And I remember you saying, you need a Netflix special. I remember you saying that to me on that motorcycle. I'm sitting, I had headsets in. I was listening to the Doors, Magic Caravan, Spanish Caravan. And I was flying. I was high. There were oxen on either side of me. The sun was setting. And you're like, dude, this is who you are. Fuck that Travel Channel bullshit. Get away from it. You need to focus on stand-up and your podcast.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah. And you're like, you're the fucking machine. If you don't talk about this on stage, then you're not doing yourself. You're doing yourself a disservice.
Well, there's certain people that, like, you know their full potential because when they're with you, they're completely relaxed. And, you know, everyone's just having a great time, and you get to see them at their best. And when you're crying, laughing, just hanging out, talking to a guy, you're like, this guy's got it. He's just got to figure out how to get rid of all the other shit in his life and focus on that. Because you were always so fucking funny. And I was like, how is this guy doing these shows where he's letting people hurt him and all this? Like, when you were doing Hurt Bert, I was like, what are you doing? Don't get hurt. And then I'd gone through it with Fear Factor. Like, Fear Factor was a great job. Don't get me wrong. Very happy that I got it. It was wonderful. It gave me fuck you money. It gave me the ability to do whatever I want after that.
Yeah.
But it was a thing where I was like, this is not what I want to do. What I want to do is what I always do. Just stand up, have fun. You know, if I was doing the UFC back then too. So it was like, do the UFC commentary, things I love doing. That's what I want to be doing. I don't want to be doing just a job. Jobs are great. Don't get me wrong. I'm thankful I got it. But at a certain point in time, if you want to reach your full potential, you have to realize, like, this is holding me back. And sometimes people don't want to tell you that because it's a job and it's a great gig. And I've had people tell me, like, don't leave Fear Factor. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? I have to leave. I'm like, I have to leave. I got to go.
I remember those times. I remember people saying, because I knew you as Joe the stand-up. And I remember people saying, he does comedy? And I was like, no, that's what he does. Like, he's not an actor, he's not a host, he's a comedian.
But that's understandable, right? Like, my stand-up, I'd only done, like, by then, I'd only done, like, a couple things that were out, that were available. And I was on the hugest show in television. Fear Factor was fucking gigantic.
It was massive.
Nuts.
It was massive. Monday nights?
Yeah. It was a fun job.
You know it's a big show when 20 years later you remember the night it was on.
But this is what's important. Even though it was the #1 show in the country, I still had that feeling. Like, I don't want to really be doing this.
Yeah.
I'm happy to do it. I'm very thankful that I got the job. I worked with some amazing people. It was a lot of fun. We had a great crew. Really fun time. But I didn't want to do it. I wanted to do this. This is what I didn't know I wanted to do this because this wasn't a thing, but once I figured it out, I was like, oh, this is what I want to do. I want to do this and stand up. And the UFC, which is like, to me, it's not even a job. It's like a vacation.
It's crazy watching you operate in the UFC and seeing that mechanism, and to think when you started that, like how far that path with the UFC has been for you.
Oh, for me, it was 97.
I know, but walking in through the other day, and I was like, oh, this has been Joe's life for fucking 26 years.
Well, if you're a person who's a martial artist and you're a fan of martial arts, if you get a job to do that, like if you get a job to talk about martial arts and to express your love for it and your appreciation for the athletes, appreciation for the fighters and what they have to go through to get to where they're at, and the magnitude of their accomplishments, and to put words to that, like to be able to do that for a living, that's an honor. That's how I feel.
Oh, yeah.
It's like it's an honor. It's an honor, and I feel like I do a good job at it, and I like doing it, and I'm super passionate about it, and I don't do it because it's a job. I do it because I love it. Like, I don't need to do it. I could have quit a long time ago. It does. Like, I could just watch it. Like, we're doing a Fight Companion this weekend. It's gonna be fun. Yeah. We're gonna hang out. What are you doing Saturday?
I don't know. Oh, I'm in Vegas.
Are you really?
I have 2 shows in Vegas this weekend.
Nice.
At Resorts World Theater.
Nice.
Oh, I should say, my special, Lucky, is streaming right now on Netflix.
Right now.
Right now. I say lucky. I say lucky because I am the luckiest fucking guy in the world. I really am. When you think about finding the friends I did later in life, like at 37 or 38 when I started meeting all you guys and hanging out with you guys, and then getting into comedy at the time I did. Like, we got into comedy when it wasn't a job. It was like, It was weird. It was like joining the fucking circus.
It was.
And I only got into comedy because I got discovered by Rolling Stone magazine as the #1 party animal in the country. I mean, what are the fucking odds of my life tracking out? So that's why I named it Lucky.
Well, we're all very lucky. That's absolutely sure. No dispute. We're all very lucky. If you're listening to this, you're very lucky because you can fucking hear. How about that?
Yeah.
If you're watching it, you're very lucky that you can see. You're very lucky that you can afford a phone. You're very lucky. Like, most of the world lives in utter poverty. And that's the unfortunate reality of all these people virtue signaling about the 1%. Like, bitch, you're in the 1%.
There's
you're
someone
in the 1%
digging
of the
blood
world.
diamonds in Sierra Leone right now, smoking brown, and he's 11. Okay?
If you make $34,000 in America, you're in the 1% of the world. How about that?
Wow.
Yep, that's real.
My father-in-law still isn't in that 1%.
Hey, life's not good for everybody.
Life's not good for everybody.
Some people don't get lucky at all. I've been trying to wrap my mind around the idea of quantum computing. It's exciting, but complex and difficult to understand. What I do know is that quantum computers can process exponentially more data than the ones you and I use every day. Quantum computers also put a new strain on the world of digital privacy and cybersecurity. They may one day crack encryption algorithms that we currently consider secure. That's why ExpressVPN upgraded their encryption to use MLKEM, the strongest available protection from post-quantum threats. With ExpressVPN, all your online activity is rerouted through secure, encrypted servers, even though all your data is still being handled by your internet provider or whoever the provider is for the random public Wi-Fi network you're on. None of these third parties will be able to read your data or hijack your connection for malicious intent. And with post-quantum protection, ExpressVPN is essentially future-proofing your privacy. Just one of many reasons why ExpressVPN is the absolute best VPN out there. So if you want to get the highest standards of post-quantum protection from your VPN service, Tap the banner or go to expressvpn.com/Rogan. And now listeners can get 4 extra months for free. That's expressvpn.com/Rogan. And if you're watching on YouTube, you can get your 4 free months by scanning the QR code on screen or by clicking the link in the description. It's like,
I always think luck is a perspective.
you work hard, dude. You're not just lucky. You work hard. You work real hard. You're always touring. You're always doing things. You're always putting together new shit. You're always working. You're always hustling. Like, it's not just luck. It's luck plus, you love to party, but you also have a great work ethic. And that's very, very important, man. It's like you can't just be lucky. Lucky's huge. You got to get lucky. But also, if you work really hard, you tend to get luckier, especially if you're smart and if you're willing to take risks. Like for you, the Travel Channel thing, that was a risk. Like you had to listen to your friends and you had to go, you know what, they're fucking right. Everybody else is cooking right now, and my stand-up's kind of stalled out because I'm doing this TV show. And again, it's coming from someone who was there. And I'm telling you that if you're making millions and you still feel that way, versus if you're making thousands and you still feel that way, you got to trust me. There's another way to get through this. And the other way we found. We got, we were right.
Yeah.
Look, we fucking saw light at the end of the tunnel. We were like, this is the way to go. And we were right.
I remember you telling all of us, you guys need a podcast. And I remember saying to Tom, he's out of his mind. Why don't we just do his?
No, everybody thought I was out of my mind for even doing mine. Like, people mocked me openly. Like, Howard Stern famously mocked all people that were doing podcasts. You're wasting your time. But in his mind, that was correct, because he didn't have this. He wasn't an internet kid. I'm not an internet kid, but I used to build my own computers in the 90s. I used to go to Fry's Electronics and get motherboards and hard drives, and my friend Andrew used to help me over the phone. I'd call him. He's a wizard tech guy. And so I had bought all these high-end gaming computers and upgraded the video cards, and I was on all these crazy websites. We'd send each other that was the 2 girls, 1 cup days. So I was pretty plugged in.
What was the guy, Mr. Smiles or something?
Oh, Mr. Hands.
Mr. Hands. Okay, keep going.
So I was pretty plugged into the idea that the internet was something that people were finding stuff that just wasn't available anywhere else. I got all these crazy lectures, these Alan Watts lectures that I downloaded. I'm like, this is nuts. That's back when you had to download stuff and then you had to upload it to an AirPod. Remember your AirPods with the wheel?
Oh, yeah.
Those were the shit.
Oh, I remember that.
Yeah, the little wheel that would spun around. I loved that thing. And so I would download all these Terrence McKenna lectures and all these Timothy Leary, all these fascinating conversations that I would download on. And then I started thinking about it. And then I was like, well, there's podcasts. So people just let's just start doing one of those. We just start doing it. And I was like, nobody was listening to them. It was Adam Carolla had a big one because Adam had just left terrestrial radio. He was the morning guy that replaced Howard Stern when Howard Stern went to XM, right? Yeah. So he's on, or Sirius, whatever it was. So it's both now, right? They're combined.
Yeah, Sirius XM.
So he's on morning radio all over the country, but morning radio is super stagnant. And they had a LA morning radio station where it was all talk radio station, where it was all talk radio. So it was Tom Likas, it was him, it was there was a few other people I can't remember. Ricky Rockman had a show.
Yeah, Phil Hendry I think had a show.
He had a different show.
Oh yeah,
Phil Hendry was an AM guy.
He was that was the greatest. That was the greatest goddamn shows in the world.
It's one of the greatest shows of all time, and he's a super nice guy. I met him once in Montreal. So for people who don't know, Phil Hendry, he's the caller and he's the answerer. He does different voices.
Genius.
And he gets people so angry because the callers will say the dumbest fucking shit. And then you'll have actual people calling in to argue with the caller who's all Phil Hendry.
Yeah. I remember sitting next to my dad's bed. My dad's in his underwear and he's got his alarm clock and we're listening to it. My dad's just like this and my dad goes, buddy, he's both of them. I was like, what? He goes, this is all him. Yeah. And you're just like, whoa. I mean, it was so ahead of its time.
So ahead of its time. And once you were in on the joke, it was amazing.
Oh, it was amazing.
If I was coming home from the store, it was Phil Hendry or Art Bell. That was what I listened to.
God.
The old days. So Art Bell was my favorite.
Who was Art Bell?
Art Bell was Coast to Coast with Art Bell from the Kingdom of Nye. He was broadcasting from a fucking bunker in the middle of the Nevada desert. He was had like this crazy radio tower outside of his house in the Nevada desert, and he would take calls from time travelers, werewolves, people that are coming from another dimension. Like, it was the nuttiest fucking show. For real, like, one of my greatest career accomplishments that, like, made me the most happy was I got on the Art Bell show. And I got on it, like, way later when he was on the internet. It wasn't even on radio anywhere. But for me, it was like, I got on the Art Bell show. Yeah. Yes! It was just like, I just loved that show. It was so fun. Because I'd be driving on. That was his house. So look at, if you see like what his house looked like, it's like his house is in the middle of nowhere in the fucking desert. I mean, the middle of nowhere. There's nothing around his house. And his house is all fenced in with like chain link fence and shit. It looks so psychotic, like perfect for a guy that is broadcasting. He's got like this compound in the fucking desert, dude.
God.
Yeah, it was amazing.
Dude,
and he would broadcast right from there. Because radio, if you have a tower and you have a station, you could broadcast to the whole country. The country can carry it. So the whole country was carrying Coast to Coast with Art Bell. And this wild motherfucker is out in the middle of nowhere in the desert in like a compound talking to aliens.
They were doing what we're doing now way before the curve.
Oh, yes. Well, we owe all we have today to Howard Stern and Art Bell, for sure. Because, we are kind of like a combination of Howard Stern and Art Bell. And if it wasn't for he's the guy that got arrested, or didn't get arrested, but he got fined heavily by the Bush administration. This is back when the Republicans were the ones that were trying to censor people, which you should always realize.
It's crazy that you got to say that.
This fucking stupid game that people play back and forth with, who loves war, who hates war, who loves censorship, who hates censorship. It's a political beach ball that they toss around at a concert to keep people occupied. These motherfuckers switch sides, all right? That should tell you enough alone by itself right there that they fucking switch sides. But he was getting attacked for obscenity, so he'd put like whatever they would do, and they fined. What was the total amount that Howard Stern was fined? So this has to be, you got a neurotic guy as it is, right, who's also the most pioneering radio guy of all time, right? He's the guy that changed radio from DJs playing records to just talking.
And talking in your authentic voice and not, hey, welcome back.
Talking in your authentic voice and having wild shit on the radio.
$2.5 million?
$2.5 million between 1990 and 2004. So they fucked with him for 14 years. 14 years.
And that's not paid by the station. That's paid by him.
Fine owners of radio station licenses that carried the Howard Stern show. A total of $2.5 million for content and considered to be indecent. Indecent. So all the stuff that we do on podcasts right now, we would 100% have been fined. 100%. I would have been off the air a long time ago. It was real censorship, but it was just done under the guise of, broadcast. Like, the idea is, like, if you're going to broadcast something on a major network like NBC, CBS, they have rules to language and what you're allowed to show, which is kind of crazy. Like, why do you have those rules? Like, why do those rules exist? To keep obscenity from television and, like, maybe that was a good idea in 1950 when people didn't know any better. But now that we know better, like, why do you have rules like that?
I can't believe that radio still has those rules. And the rules are slippery. You can say dickhead.
You can't say cunt.
But you can't say suck my dick.
You can't say anything you want to say. Like, sometimes cunt's the right word.
Cunt's one of my favorite words.
Every now and then it's the right word when used correctly. But, like, if you can't say it, then you can't fully express yourself. And if you don't like people fully expressing themselves because you don't like certain sounds, I suggest you grow the fuck up. That's a ridiculous way to think. If I can say cock, but I can't say cocksucker. If I could say dick, like Dick Cheney, but I can't say suck a dick. Like, what are we doing? It's the same sound. You're making the same sound. I can say pussy, cat. Pussycat's fine. You know, you can't say N-word breakfast. You know what I'm saying?
You can. You gotta look both ways.
You gotta be black. But you know what I'm saying? Like you if you want to say certain words that are forbidden words, sometimes they're okay. So it's the sound is sometimes okay.
It even gets trickier. Like there was a video I was cutting to promote my tour or whatever, and it's me on a boat, or the special, and it's me on a boat, and there's this page I'm really obsessed with. It's Fat N-word season. Joe, it's so addictive because it's all AI, and I think they're promoting a crypto coin.
Of course.
And I was like, and I didn't like the edit, so I go, hey, put Fat N-word Summer, play that song. And it's fucking so much funnier, Joe. It's so much funnier with me shirtless on a boat. But these guys are great. But my wife saw it. She was like, that's offensive. I was like, no.
She's right.
Yeah. And then I sent it to Tommy. I go, is this racist? And he was like, sent it to the wrong guy. all Tom sends me is videos of fat black chicks on rope swings. Our whole thread is just anytime a chick takes an L off a cliff.
God, I got to get on that thread because the one me and Tommy are on is horrible.
What's that one?
It's all murder.
Oh, yeah.
We send each other the
brain.
murder and car accidents. Today was a car accident. It was guys escaping the cops, and the guy flips this van multiple times, gets thrown into traffic, and then run over by cars. And it's just splatterfest.
I can't watch those. I was telling someone. My niece had my phone, and she's like 3, and you forget what your algorithm looks like, and it was Fat N-word Summer song came on, and she's like, Uncle Bert, and then the next video was a chick pissing on the passed out dude's head, and I was like, oh, maybe you shouldn't use my phone to relax with.
Yeah, my kids know better. Don't
my
look
algorithm
at my phone.
is fucked, dude.
Yeah, my algorithm's not good.
It is fucked.
My YouTube algorithm's great.
Oh, my YouTube algorithm's all history.
A lot of my YouTube algorithm lately has been like watching people build things. I love like cabinet makers and carpenters. Or there's this one guy who makes these specialized desks that have like secret drawers and shit.
Hold on, I follow that guy.
Yeah.
Where you put your hand here,
a few of those
and
guys.
a magnet comes up, and a wand comes out, and he waves it.
Yeah.
Fuck, those desks are badass.
Yeah, I wave the wand, and the keyboard rolls out. Like, yeah, it's pretty dope. There's a bunch of those guys that make these like super ingenious, like homemade artisan desks.
Yeah, that, or if you get me a chick with no bra doing survival techniques in the woods.
Oh yeah,
I'm in.
That's a sell.
I've watched so many of those. Just rock hard nipples.
Hot chicks have found their way into basically all walks of life as influencers. You know, there's like hot chick hunters. There's hot chick jujitsu girls. There's hot chick CrossFitters.
There's definitely hot chick golfers.
Oh,
you know
a lot of that.
I ran into Paige Spiranak at the Super Bowl. And I was like, I had to be real because I'm a golfer. I was like, I follow you for your swing. You have a great swing.
Right.
But then you know what's crazy about Paige? She can't snap her fingers or whistle.
How'd you find that out?
Because we were playing a game like Weird Things About Us, and she was like, I can't snap my fingers. And I watched her, and she went like this. She was like, and I go, and she goes, I can't whistle. And she starts going.
How could you not snap your fingers?
I have no idea.
She's the most followed golfer, Joe.
Damn.
And she's not.
Tiger Woods only has 3.5 million followers, and she's got 4. And she's not a professional. Yeah, if you're hot, you could do a lot in this world.
And you could also not whistle
nice.
and snap.
You don't have to snap.
No, you
That's
don't
not
snap.
important. Do you care?
Yeah,
she's super
but
hot.
she does have a great swing.
I bet she does. Jesus Christ.
And if she's not wearing a bra, it's so good. Look at that. Watch one.
This seems pornographic almost.
There we go.
Well, gee, I wonder why she's got so many followers.
She's good at golf.
Yeah.
It's got a good swing.
Damn. I don't even know if I saw any movement.
I swear to God, if I had tits.
You want to talk about lucky?
Yeah.
That's the Willy Wonka golden ticket. Being a super hot woman, like all you have to do is be nice, and doors just open up everywhere. Like da 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 da, she's here. If you're that hot, anywhere you go, like red carpets get rolled out, roses get thrown at your feet.
She was walking down Radio Row at Super Bowl with Cam Hayward, and both of us are like, just stop talking.
But also creepers. Creepers launch themselves at you. Ugh. You're never invisible. Guys are fucking with you all the time. Overconfident guys are hitting on you all the time and then getting really mean when you reject them. That's the thing that chicks have to deal with. They have to deal with like angry guys that like are angry that they get rejected and they start insulting them and yelling at them and like that's scary shit, man. That's scary shit.
Think about all our friends, all our female comedians that have stalkers. I mean, it's so. You work your ass off as a comic. You happen to be pretty. You start killing it, and then all the fucking psychos come out of the woodwork.
And you don't have any money, so you probably live in a place that's easy to get to.
That's crazy. Yeah, I don't.
Yeah, it's dangerous. There's a lot of fucking. Well, we need better mental health care in this fucking country. And there's a lot of people out there that are out of their fucking mind. And if no one's paying attention to them or checking in on them, like imagine you're your average guy who loses his fucking mind, and you're a 40-year-old guy who works at a gas station. And you've been working at that gas station for 20 years, and no one's paying attention, and you're just slowly losing your fucking mind. And you think Jared Leto is Satan, and that you've decided that like someone's sending you code on television, and then you lock on to some female comedian, and like that's your target. That's who you're.
It's gotta feel nice though.
What?
To be the lunatic.
No.
Just to have
what the fuck is wrong with you?
Have something to focus
Don't
on.
encourage this. Just have something to focus on. Play video games, guys.
Yeah.
Get involved in Call of Duty, okay? You don't have to fucking go stalk people. Find something productive. Play online chess, you fucking psycho. You don't have to go stalk people.
I always had that brain that, I'd see something like a new addiction come up, like cutting, and I'd go, I wonder what that does. Like I was always looking for something like that,
Yeah.
Like I could never do eating disorder. That was too tough for me. But hey, how about when we were at dinner with that guy and I said to him, I ran marathons, and he went, "You do?"
That was funny.
And he goes, I wasn't trying to be rude.
Funny. That was funny. He was definitely trying to be rude, but he was being funny. We were talking
awesome.
shit. That's Taylor Sheridan.
He was awesome, dude.
Yeah, I like how you call him that guy.
Well, I didn't want to blow his spot up.
Yeah, it's
dude. He's let me tell you something. I'm going to give props to Taylor Sheridan. I haven't said this to anyone. I try to keep those moments that you have with those guys private. So I was a little bit of a party snitch for a while, but like he's a great American storyteller.
He really is.
When he tells you anything about his life or what he's doing or breaking a horse, he doesn't even call it breaking a horse. He calls it a different term. Mm-hmm. But I'm sitting there going like, this is, and this is going to be slanderous a little bit, considering difference of time of where they were. But like, it's like having dinner with Ernest Hemingway. He's created some of the greatest content out there. Yellowstone.
You can't compare him to Ernest Hemingway because Ernest Hemingway is dead. And a legend.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
Okay.
But he's amazing.
But amazing.
Do you ever see that Hell or High Water? You ever see that film?
No. What's that?
Oh, my God. It's one of his films.
Oh, that's Taylor's film.
Yeah. It's fucking great. Pull up Hell or High Water. This fucking movie, dude. This movie is incredible. Jeff Bridges is in it.
Yeah, I've seen this.
It's about bank robbers, these criminals in a small town. It's fucking good, dude.
I think, what's his name's in this? Oh, shit. We have a friend in this.
Who's your friend?
No, me and you. I think it's our friend. I don't know who it is, though. I forget.
Okay. Jamie, go to the cast. Who's in that?
God, Ben Foster's so fucking good.
That guy's so good. You know what that guy was in that's super underrated, one of his performances, because it's such a wacky movie? 30 Days of Night. Did you ever see 30 Days of Night?
No, what's 30 Days of Night?
30 Days of Night is the second best vampire movie of all time.
Really?
First best vampire movie of all time is the most recent Nosferatu. That's the best vampire movie of all time.
The one that just came out.
The one that just came out.
Okay, Nosferatu. Okay.
The best vampire movie of all time.
Is it streaming yet?
Yeah.
Oh, I can't wait.
It's on Apple. But this was 30 Days of Night was a movie where Ben Foster played like a vampire familiar, and these vampires would they went to Alaska in the middle of the winter where it's dark for 30 days, so they could be out for 30 days. And they're fucking terrifying vampires. They're really fun. It's a really good, and Ben Foster plays the vampire familiar. So the familiar is like, that's him in there.
What's a familiar?
A familiar is a human that the vampires use to get close to humans, and they promise the human that one day he'll have eternal life, and he'll be one of them. So the vampire goes and sets up people for the vampire familiar, sets people up to be killed by the vampires.
Oh, shut up.
Yeah.
I got to watch this. Dude, he was great in the what was the movie where they kidnapped the kid? Justin Timberlake was in it. Raw Dog, not Raw Dog.
Ben Foster's a beast.
But he's awesome.
He's a beast.
311 till Zuma or whatever.
I didn't see that one.
Yuma. Oh my God, he is.
What is it, Jamie?
310 to Yuma.
310 to Yuma.
I didn't see that.
He was great in the Justin Timberlake movie. It was called like Top Dog or something. Alpha Dog. And he was just awesome, and he had a very small role. He played the guy's older brother, and it was just like he just owns the screen.
Yeah, he's a beast. There's certain people that like when they act, you just go, God damn! Like,
I am
so
not one of
good.
them.
So good, so good. So it makes a movie so much better. You just get dragged into it.
I think Jonah Ray is probably the best comic actor out there.
What has he been in?
Jonah Ray, everything. When he was in War Dogs and he goes to buy drugs from the black guys.
Oh, I didn't see that either.
And he goes,
there's too much to see, Bert Kreischer.
Oh, I'm telling you, I'm just starting now to just download stuff and get off Instagram. And if I'm going to bed, just turn on a documentary and start watching it.
By just starting now to get off Instagram?
I'm trying. Jonah Hill.
Jonah Hill, you mean?
Yeah, what did I say?
Jonah Ray.
Jesus Christ.
Okay, that's why you confused me.
Sorry, Jonah Ray.
No,
also.
Jonah Hill's awesome.
Jonah Hill's fucking amazing.
He's great.
Jonah Hill is amazing. He was in War Dogs. He goes up and buys weed from the black guys, and he's like, "How much?" He goes, $120, and he gives them the $120, and then he just started to keep talking to himself, and he's like, Jonah's like, "Hey," he's got a voice. "What are we doing here? Hi guys," and they're like, "Get the fuck out." And he's like, "Oh, okay," and he goes to the back of his trunk and pulls out a machine gun and goes. Grrr! He goes, "Can you listen to me now?" He's just awesome, dude.
Wow.
Awesome, man. I fucking love that guy. But yeah,
there's too many movies to be paying attention to these days. When I was a kid, if you said you didn't know, you never saw Apocalypse Now? What the fuck? You know, it's like once VHS tapes came out, you're supposed to have seen the big ones.
Yeah.
You didn't see The Godfather? You didn't see Star Wars?
Yeah.
Are you out of your fucking mind? But today, it's like they never stop making movies.
No.
They've never stopped. They make new ones every year. You can't keep up. There's no way.
And all the ones that were up for Oscars, I saw none of those.
Yeah, well, they all involved chaos.
But it's like
They all involve the end of civilization. If you want to win an Oscar, you have to be trans lives matter all the way. Like, what do you do to win an Oscar today? Like, you have to have something that's got some meaning to it other than just being a good movie, right? Like, there's got to be some social justice aspect to it. Wasn't there like some thing where they were talking about? God damn it. I can't remember what the article was about. But it was about requirements for a film to win an Oscar today. What they believe to be requirements. So I don't like awards. Do you know what it is?
I'm looking.
There was something that it was just
Representation and inclusion standards.
That's it.
Like that.
That's it.
that's not the only way to tell a story.
That's not, because if you do that, you don't get Shogun. Okay.
Yeah. Oh.
You don't get Shogun. You gotta have an all Japanese cast. You want to get Shogun. You know, you can't have a fully diverse, 50-50 split of whatever, everybody. You can't.
No.
You have to tell a specific kind of a movie. If you're going to make a movie about the Congo, you can't have white people play native Congolese people. You can't have that. So it's like some stories are not diverse. It doesn't make them less valid. It doesn't mean you're racist. It just means that some stories take place in Norway and they involve Vikings. Okay? This is like just a part of human history. Some stories take place in Egypt and they involve Africans. Okay? It's like there's plenty of room for every kind of fucking story. But if you only want like a specific type of story to win an Academy Award, you don't get The Godfather. Daylight savings is coming, so we're about to lose an hour, and that means trying to speed up your morning. But if you drink AG1, maybe you're fine with it. It's that quick and easy to help your body feel great every day. Starting your day with AG1 can help you shake off the grogginess, get back into your rhythm, and even give you the boost you need to make the most of that extra hour of sunlight, maybe even turning you into the morning person you've always wanted to be. AG1 rules. I drank it for a long time now, and seriously, it's as easy as I say every month. You just take one scoop, put it in some cold water, shake it up, and you're ready to go. Honestly, it tastes pretty good too. I'm not complaining. It's never too late to create a new healthy habit for 2025. So try AG1 for yourself. It's easy to stay consistent with, and that's why I've been partnering with AG1 for so long. And AG1 is offering new customers a free gift when you subscribe. You'll get a welcome kit, a bottle of D3K2, and 5 free travel packs in your first box. So make sure you check out drinkag1.com/Joe Rogan. That's drinkag1.com/Joe Rogan. You don't get that movie.
You don't get Jaws.
You got to get all Italians
Star
if you want
Wars.
The Godfather.
Think
right?
about who were the Oscar winners when we were kids.
Yeah.
We're all fucking banger movies that everyone saw.
Right.
That everyone saw. Best Picture won Best Picture because it was Best Picture, not because it was a Best Picture about a trans social worker that got abducted and sent
exactly. Yeah, they got distorted. They get distorted with what the job is. The job is just to purely entertain people and with a great piece of work. That's all it is. That's the whole job. And that could be Pulp Fiction. There's no message in Pulp Fiction.
There's none.
It's fucking chaos. And it's amazing.
The message we took away was that white guys can say the N-word.
I guess.
We were like,
Quentin
all right.
Tarantino, as long as you have a gun in your hand, you could do it. But the whole movie is just madness. But it's amazing. You can't deny how great it is. Like, that's supposed to be what the best movie is. It's not supposed to be. I don't even know if that won Best Film. Did it win Best Film? No. Did Pulp Fiction win Best Picture?
No, but I think he won Best Director and Best. Maybe not for that. But
It should have won Best Picture.
Him and Roger Avery together were
Who the fuck won Best
gangsters.
Picture?
that was a really good year.
Oh, that's right. We actually talked about that on the podcast.
I think it was actually Unforgiven that year, but I'm going to make sure.
Unforgiven was a fucking great movie.
Fucking great movie.
God.
That was Clint Eastwood going back and cleaning up all his old Westerns. That's what that movie was. It's like, let me show you what it's probably really like.
Yeah.
What it's really like. Not this, fucking everybody's looking at you sideways. No, the reality was that character that he played, that old assassin.
What year do you think movies stopped being great movies and started being, like, what year did we switch?
I think people are still making great movies.
But they're not winning Oscars.
Well, I think who cares? I really do. I think once Will Smith slapped Chris Rock, the Oscars to me were like, what? I'm done. I'm done. Like, you guys, and then they all applauded him and gave him a standing ovation afterwards when he won an Oscar. I'm like, I'm done.
Forrest Gump.
Forrest Gump was a banger.
Look at hang on. I saw every movie on there.
Redemption?
I saw
my God.
every movie on there.
Quiz Show?
Quiz Show was great.
I never saw Four Weddings and a Funeral. I heard it was great, though.
Dude, it made you want to date a fucking British chick. I made you want to have a rich friend, live in a castle, get drunk, watch a friend die, and fucking...
Okay.
Look at all
But that
of
makes
these.
sense that was best film. But what an amazing year. Shawshank, Pulp Fiction, Quiz Show. Quiz Show was fucking great.
Yeah.
By the way, that was a real thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, they really fucking rigged a quiz show. That's why there's all sorts of rules if you're running a game show, because I was on a game show, Fear Factor. It was my best way to get people away from me. If they ask me, how do I get on Fear Factor? I go, if you want to get on, you can't even talk to me. Because if you talk to me, then I'll have previously known you. Then it could be seen that I helped you get on the show. So I can't talk to you. It was great.
It's a great workaround.
It was great. And it was true.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Did they have someone like really judging the like horse sperm? Going like, we
judging
gotta,
it?
like an official officiating it because it was prize money? Meaning, like, the quiz show was all about them breaking the rules.
Right.
And you had to have someone, a standards and practice guy on your team, making sure the game was fair for everyone, correct?
Yeah, I think there was something like that. I guess the network just did that. I think we kind of ran the idea, or they ran the ideas by the network, and the network decided, whether or not this was fair or what have you. But everything was always fair. Like, that show was... nobody got knowledge of the stunt before they got there. We blindfolded everybody. They were traveling around in vans. They would be blindfolds. Sometimes they'd cover their ears so they couldn't even hear. And then they would take their blindfolds off, and then right there and then they would find out what they had to do. So right there and then they find out they got to get covered in snakes or something like that. And we knew that someone had a fear of snakes. Because you fill out a form, and if you got a fear of snakes, guess what? You might wind up on the snake episode. You know, it was a fucking crazy show. But, you know, it was all fair. But that quiz show, they figured it out like the mob figured out the fucking lottery. You know, Whitey Bulger won the lottery twice.
Did he really?
Yeah. You know how bold you have to be a gangster in South Boston and not just win the lottery once, but win the lottery twice. Like, see if you can find that.
How do you rig the numbers that big? That's crazy.
I can get away with it. You can kind of get away with stuff before the internet. Before the internet, you could get away with things like that, where you could kind of rig the lottery a couple of times, and everybody's like, "Whitey won again? What the fuck?"
Oh, that's great.
When I was a kid and I was living in Boston, I used to teach one of his hitmen. I taught one of his hitmen Taekwondo.
Oh, well, what's it like teaching a hitman?
It was weird.
Are they good students?
Yeah, he was very, very disciplined. Yeah, he was like a known guy in the South Boston Irish mob, and he wanted to learn how to fight. Lottery winner had been one of Bulger's brilliant schemes to launder his drug extortion loan sharking money back in the summer, which makes sense, right? What better way to why do you have a Cadillac? Oh, I won the fucking lottery.
Yeah.
Oh, we're clear. So you could have all your shit. So millions lottery ticket had been purchased at the South Boston Liquor Mart by Michael Linsky, who was the brother of a Bulger underling named Patrick Linsky. The FBI learned that once Whitey heard about the jackpot, he ordered the real winner to sign the ticket over, with Whitey and two associates paying $2.3 million in cash for 50% of the winnings. Bulger himself paid Linsky $700,000. Although Linsky lost money in the deal, he really had no choice. It came down to selling the ticket or risking his life. Kevin Weeks, whose name also appeared in the winning lottery, the winning ticket, later claimed that Linsky purchased a large batch of tickets to hand out as Christmas gifts and promised to split any winnings with Bulger and Weeks. But Weeks' story makes little sense. The so-called Christmas gifts were purchased during the dog days of summer. So they did it. The scam set up a 20-year legitimate income stream for Whitey, where he earned $119,000 each year.
Oh, wow. That's brilliant.
Yeah, so that's what he did. He found out that somebody won it. He's totally tuned into the neighborhood. Find that guy, fuck him over, take his ticket. Look, I won the lottery.
And you have no choice. It's
You
just
have no choice.
It's like when the guy hit Gotti's grandson with the car.
Right. Yeah, you're dead.
Yeah, you got to die now.
Yeah, you're dead. Yeah, if you lived in that time, like in the 1980s when I used to teach this guy Taekwondo, like you would always hear about hits. I knew a guy who got arrested. I don't know if he did it. He was a guy that I was friends with. His name was Richie. I was friends with him before he went to jail. And then I was kind of friends with him when he got out of jail, before I realized that he was like very dangerous now. He was a completely different person. So he went away to jail. He was a little older than me. I was 18, so he was probably 20 or 21. And he went to jail on some kind of gun charge or drug charge. So he comes out of jail a few years later, and he's an animal. I mean, an animal. He's way bigger. He's put on like 30 pounds of muscle, and he's seen way too much. He was telling me stories about fights that he used to get into in the jail, where he'd beat some guy half to death with a broom handle, and that you're fighting for your life in there. It's like every day you're fighting for, and he knew how to fight. He was, I trained with him. That's where I knew him. I knew him from Taekwondo. And he was just telling me about fights that he would get in jail. He's like, you have to fight. There's nothing you could do. It's constant. You're constantly on edge. I'm like, fuck, man. And so I'd known this guy before jail, then I'd known him after jail. And he was just way more dangerous after jail. He was doing a lot of coke. He would train, and when you would train with him, it was a fight. I mean, it was a fight. It wasn't, you were fighting for your life, I broke his whole face once. I hit him with a wheel kick in the head because we were fighting, man. I mean, we were fighting. And there was no one there, by the way. It was my gym, so it was just me and him, like literally fighting. He would just attack you. Like, it wasn't like a technical sparring thing. And back then, I felt like I was a pussy if I didn't spar with anybody who wanted to spar. Like, you want to spar? Okay, let's spar. So you sparred with everybody. And some people you sparred with. Some people, you would like, let's just not hurt each other.
Yeah.
And then other people, you knew you were fighting. You were
Jesus.
guys get knocked out all the time. I saw dozens of guys get knocked out in the gym all the time. I did a lot of it. It was scary. It was scary. You would be super nervous before class. You'd be super.
You'd have that, and you're doing class every day. That's happening every day.
All the time.
I would be.
All the
I
time.
have anxiety. I have anxiety getting on planes.
You're sparring 3 or 4 days a week. Yeah, you're sparring 3 or 4 days a week. If you're smart, you have to stay sharp.
So you
have to be
broke
able-
this
you have-
guy's face?
Broke his face, and he wanted to keep training. He was still coming after me. I was like, dude, you got to look in the mirror. Look in the mirror. And his whole face had shifted. Like it had shifted. I hit him with a wheel kick in the cheek. He went out. His eyes rolled back in his head. He collapses down to his butt. And then he tried to get back up slowly. He gets back up. And he's like, I'm good, I'm good, I'm good. And then like 30 seconds later, he wants to keep sparring. And I'm like, you got to stop. But he was just a monster, like a savage person. He was a kid when I knew him, like a normal kid, like, what's up, Richie? And then 3 or 4 years later, whatever it was when he got out, he was a monster.
Was there any hint of the old Richie where you could go, hey, man, what's going on?
No.
He was just gone.
No, he was gone. I didn't know the old Richie that well. Now, I'm thinking timeline. So this was pre me doing stand-up. So I probably met him first when I was like 16, and then I met him again when I was 21. It was somewhere around that 21, because that's when I stopped fighting. And it was like right around the same time where I knew Richie when I stopped fighting. So he got arrested. There was a guy who was murdered, and they broke every bone in his body with a hammer, and they kept injecting him with cocaine to keep him alive. Yeah.
Holy fuck.
Yeah. They identified the body. I forget how they identified the body, but I'm pretty sure they chopped his hands and his head off. And they found this guy, and he got arrested for that. And he got away. He got off. I don't think they charged him. I don't think he actually did it, but he definitely knew people who did it. He was involved with the same kind of people. And this was like one of the guys that I worked out with. But he wasn't the hitman. The hitman was way more stoic.
Really? Older?
Yeah, he was older. He was in his 30s. And the hitman was...
Would he come in with like hitman problems? Like, all right, say I'm in a restaurant.
He asked me once, how would I kill a guy?
Really?
He said, if you're going to hit a guy and you were going to kill him, where would you hit him? And I said, probably the neck. And he said, yeah, I think so. And that was the conversation. That was the end of the conversation. I don't even know why I picked the neck, because the neck actually could take a pretty good beating. Neck's pretty tough.
Not mine.
Your head is way weaker than your neck. This is really weak. Like this little spot right here, your temple. There's a little tiny, thin little layer of bone there that protects your brain. It's not big at all.
When was the last time you got punched?
Oh, it's been a long time. I haven't sparred at all since like 2007 or 8, like sparring.
Yeah.
Kickboxing sparring. Yeah. It's too, even little sparring wears on you. You carry that for your whole life. Just thuds, little thuds, even ones that aren't that hard. Just a jab, just a thud. You carry those. Like those are real. That's brain damage. Those little times they get dinged in the gym, that's real. That's brain damage. That's brain damage. And like I told you, like when I was a kid, we did a lot of brain damage. Sparring was
just me.
horrible.
I've had I think 8 concussions, and I'm just a kid. I didn't even spar. I'm just talking like basketball camp one time, football. I play in football for the hurt Bert shit. I got knocked unconscious. Oof. Like I've probably had 8 concussions. I'm guessing, you know.
Oh, I've had a lot. My last one was just a couple of years ago, skiing. Last time skiing.
I just talked to you the other day when you were skiing, and I thought you didn't ski because of your knees.
Well, my knee I did fracture one of the bones in the top of my tibia. No, which one's tibia, and then the fibula is the little one, right?
Fibulas in the shin, right?
I cracked the tibia, but it's that healed. But the real problem was the head. My head, I fell on my head. My skis went up in the air, and I hit the ground head first. Yeah, and it was a
helmet.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
But it was a bang. Like, I got rocked, and I was like, oh, shit. Like, that was a big one. And then the rest of the day, I was, like, dizzy. My balance was all bad. It was not good. It was not good. And then I was like, I'm done with this skiing thing. Because I'd always worried about my knees. Because I still love doing martial arts. And if I'm not doing it, I don't feel good. Like, I like to hit the bag. I like to have my joints work perfectly. I like to have my skills still there. I like to do it. It's fun to do. So anything that takes that away from me, like skiing just for a thrill, like, wee.
Oh, and once you get hurt, once you break, we did a concrete sled competition in Calgary or in Edmonton.
Concrete sled?
Concrete sled. It's an engineering team, and they have to figure out a way to build a concrete sled that makes it down a mountain with all the team members on it and stops within the right area.
Oh my God.
People get fucked up. I mean, fucked up. And
concrete sled must be so heavy.
You can find a picture of it. So I type in University of Edmonton concrete sled. I think that's what it's called. And right before,
this is how people keep themselves occupied when they're so fucking bored because it's 38 degrees below zero outside.
Yeah. And dude, that's the coldest I've ever been. My fingers.
Bro,
see those concrete sleds? There's one there where the guys get fucked up so bad.
I don't want to see it. It's so stupid.
But the team that went right before me, they flipped, ragdolled, yard sailed everywhere.
If these people tried bow hunting, they would quit this. They'd quit all this. They wouldn't be doing any of this. This is ridiculous. You could fucking die.
Oh, a guy before me broke his femur.
Ow!
And I remember the kid, little stoner with the walkie that tells us, all right, you guys are next. He goes, huh, what's that? Broken femur. And he looks at me and goes, broken femur's a game changer. And I was like, I got to go next. Like, what the fuck? Like, that was terrifying. But yeah, I think about that sometimes. Just having my elbow surgery, I gained so much weight from just having one arm because I couldn't get on the treadmill, I couldn't do anything, that I go, any injury is like, I don't want any injury.
Yeah, and injuries are not good. And this is coming from a person who's had a bunch of surgeries. I've had 3 knee surgeries, had my nose operated on. Oh, let me tell you my game changer, mouth tape.
You were talking about this.
Game changer. Game changer. I know people say this, and I know it's like one of those fucking fitness influencer things where people are selling something. I got no skin in the game, okay? I'm not selling nothing. I don't have anything for sale. I use a company called Hostage Tape. I'm sure there's other ones that are great, but the Hostage Tape makes me laugh. You take this tape and you put it over your mouth when you sleep. Now, I have sleep apnea, so I wear a mouthpiece. And my mouthpiece has a tongue depressor. So the mouthpiece is fitted to my lower jaw, and the tongue depressor keeps my tongue from falling back on my throat. So I don't block my airway because I have a big tongue. Yeah. And I have a fat neck. So it's like the air hole, it gets clogged up by the tongue. So the tongue depressor works, and then I put the tape over my mouth. So I'm not using my mouth at all. Thank God I got my nose fixed in like 15 years ago or something like that. Best decision I ever made in my life. Best decision I've ever made.
Really?
One of the best.
Is that the one where you had to like pull shit out of your nose?
Yeah. It was. I was on the road with Tommy, and I would show him the boogers, and he would like almost vomit because the boogers were insane. So once you get your nose operated on, like I had probably 12 nose breaks, maybe more, by the time I got my nose operated on. Holy shit. The inside of it was all calcified, like all the inside, just like cauliflower ear. That was the inside of my nose. Like it was all just clogged. I spoke like my nose was stuffed. This was how my voice was.
Wait, hold on. Is this because I listened to a version of your voice when you were younger?
Yeah,
and it sounds totally different.
It's also getting older. Your voice definitely deeper. So that's me with the.
Wait, that's you?
Yeah, when I got the nose plugs. So that's after the operation. So
oh my God! Look how big your nose is.
Well, it's all swollen.
I know.
Right there. Anyway, so if you have a deviated septum, I can't recommend it enough. It's such a huge thing to do. It opens up your nose, and you get like 10% more cardio. My jiu-jitsu changed totally. Like my gas in jiu-jitsu was way better. I was like, this is crazy. Why didn't I do this a long time ago?
Breathing through your nose and not your mouth?
No, because you breathe through both.
Oh.
So you have more airs coming in.
This is how you tell if you have a deviated septum. Put a mirror underneath, or take your phone and do a video, and then breathe through your nose. And if it closes, like mine shuts.
Yeah.
And they showed that to me.
Yeah, you have a deviated septum.
I have a
for sure.
dude. You know what happens to me when I sleep? My
Yeah.
fucking goozle swells up.
Yeah, you were telling me.
It's the fucking worst.
Yeah, we were trying to decide where the tonsils were, and you were explaining the tonsils are actually on the side, and your wife was calling it a goozle.
She's a redneck.
She's this little.
She goes, this goozle got
that
swollen.
little thing, whatever the word is, the technical
It's
word.
a uvula. It's uvulitis.
So I put the mouthpiece in, and then I
get
tape
no
up my mouth.
no uvulitis if I had mouth tape in.
Yeah, so this is the thing. I don't snore at all anymore. Zero snoring. Like I'm silent when I sleep.
No sleep mask. Apnea
No,
mask.
no. I don't have anything.
I don't believe
no.
in those.
But I woke up the first day I did it. I was like, holy shit. I feel so much better. Like instantaneously noticed the difference. Like I was like 30% more rested. Something like that. Like I felt just like a significant number where I could like feel it. I was like, whoa. And I've been doing it that way for like a week now.
So if I put those nose strips on, because I can breathe through my nose if I have
You should get your nose operated on.
no fucking way.
Yeah.
Dude, I have a
It's
hernia.
not that
I'm not
big a
going to
deal.
get done.
You should get that done too.
No.
Yeah, you should.
It's the worst.
Your guts are going to poke out of your stomach. That's what it is.
They already do, Joe.
That's gross. No, I mean your guts, not
no,
fat.
they do, Joe.
Do they poke out right now? Ew, let me see.
No.
Show me.
If I go
Can you make it poke out?
No, but if I go like,
Where's
you
it
can
go?
kind of see this.
Where's the hernia?
It's like a fin.
Oh.
It's bad. If I do a sit up, I'll show you for real, and you'll see it.
Okay. I'm watching Bert do a sit-up, ladies and gentlemen.
Do you see this?
Oh, that's scary, dude.
I know.
That's a rip in the center of your stomach?
I remember when it happened.
Oh, dude. How long ago?
Probably 12 years ago.
Oh, my God,
I
man.
was doing a Tough Mudder, and
God.
I had to pull myself up one of those half pipes. And so I ran and I grabbed it and I pulled and I pulled and I felt a tear and I was like, whoa. This is just, and I was like, God, man, that fucking hurt. What happened? And I was like, I'm fine. And then like 2 weeks later, I'm laying in bed with my wife and I kind of lean up and I see it and I go, oh fuck, what's this? And then a bunch of dads get it. Like some dudes get it when they just gain a lot of weight. That's another way to get it. But like I've never been that fat. But Tommy, I think Tommy might have had one. Or
Eddie Bravo had 2.
yeah,
He had one
they
on
say
both
it's
sides.
elective.
Oh, he had to get it. Eddie had to get it fixed.
My problem is I'd get it fixed, but then I'm afraid of the aftermath of the surgery of 13 weeks of recovery of me not working out. I'm gonna go fucking haywire.
You don't have to go haywire. That's nonsense. You should get it fixed. You should get it fixed and get your nose fixed too. Just get it fixed. Just bite the bullet. Don't live with a compromised body. Like they know how to fix those things. You should get it fixed.
Yeah.
Like the nose thing's giant. Breathe out of your nose, you change your fucking life. I couldn't do yoga class. The instructor, he would get mad at me. He'd like, you have to breathe out of your nose. I'm like, I don't have a nose. It doesn't work. Like it doesn't work. My nose, I had like 1/4 of one nostril. That was the only thing that was open.
For real.
Yeah, my right side was
So it wasn't just
completely
deviated.
closed.
It was just.
Well, Luke Rockhold, former UFC champion, had a post that he did about his nose recently, where they were like going through his nose with one of those cameras.
Yeah.
And so you could see like what's in there. It's the same thing. It says his is completely clogged up. Like you hear Justin Gaethje talk, his nose is totally clogged up. Like there's a lot of and Justin actually got his nose fixed, and then he fought Max Holloway, and I think that might have put it back again.
Oh my God! How long?
Yeah.
What's the nose surgery? What's the?
I was doing jiu-jitsu 6 weeks later.
Okay, you're Joe, and I'm Bert.
Yeah, but I mean, 6 weeks later, I was fine. I didn't take any pain pills. No, I wasn't. I mean, I was fine to roll, but I was fine the next day. Yeah, I just had to have those stupid fucking things in my nose for a while. I forget how long that lasted. Yeah. But then when they pulled those out, I was good to go. But the doctor, I remember this, the doctor gave me 2 pain pill prescriptions. He was insistent on giving me these pain pill prescriptions. And I was like, okay. I go, but it doesn't hurt now. So is it going to hurt more later? And he's like, it might. I go, but it might not, right? Like, he goes, but you should have these. Like, he wanted to write me these pain pill prescriptions. I was like, this is kind of creeping me out, man.
Yeah.
Because I had already known a bunch of people that had pill problems back then. But it was just weird that he wanted to write me 2 of them. And I told him, I go, listen, I just had knee surgery a couple months ago. And I go, and it wasn't even a couple years ago, rather. And I didn't take any pain medication. I go, I don't like it. I just did it. I just had the surgery and then just dealt with the pain. I'd rather deal with the pain than that feeling. I don't like that feeling. I got ACL surgery like way back in the day, and they gave me like Vicodins or one of those type of things, Percocets or Vicodins, I forget what it was. But I remember feeling so stupid. I was like, well, this is not for me. Like whatever this is, I'd rather be in pain than have my fucking brain just filled with like cotton. It just felt like it was just like clogged up. Like it wouldn't work right. Like blah, it was terrible.
Tommy and I like that.
But my doctor, he just wanted me to take these pills.
I think it's that you were talking to me about statins for a while, and you were saying that I don't know what you were saying or whatever I read was that these companies are getting, these doctors are getting paid out to get people on statins. The companies are saying, get people on statins, we'll pay you out. And
Doctors get a variety of rewards, I'm finding out. They get a variety of rewards dependent upon how many people in their practice get vaccinated. And if they lose a certain percentage, if they like have less than a certain percentage, then they don't get payouts. There's some weird shit that's involved in medicine. That's financial incentives that don't necessarily align up with, your best health. And I think that doctors profit off of providing people with pain pills, especially when you have a legitimate reason to want to take pain pills. But I really don't think you should take them. At least I don't take. I just don't. I think if you have something horrible wrong with you and you're in agony all day, I totally understand. But for a regular thing, like you hurt your back a little bit, so now you're on OxyContin, like
that's what happened to me. I got pretty much addicted to them because I fell off that waterfall.
Fucking get everybody, bro.
Dude. They get you.
They get everybody.
I can tell you the moment it happened was we had to go to dinner with my wife's friends, and I didn't want to go, and we weren't drinking. And I remember thinking, I wonder if I double up on my pain pills. That'll get me through tonight.
Whoa.
And I did, and man, it was an enjoyable fucking night. And I smoked a little weed, and I was fucking perfect.
Yep.
The next morning I woke up, and Leanne found out. We were going camping that weekend, and I reached over to get my pills, because the first thing I did in bed, grab a pill, pop a pill, lay there for a while. Went over, my pills were gone, and Leanne was at the foot of the bed. She goes, "You're done, big boy." And I was like, I go, "Hold on." And this is like negotiating, like junkie negotiating. I go, "Hold on, baby, we're going camping. Like we're gonna be sleeping on the hard ground." And she goes, "Nope." She goes, "Go get as much weed as you want, drink as much as you want, get through the pain that way. These things are fucking poison."
They're scary.
They're scary because you don't even realize what you look like to other people. We went to Hawaii with the family one time, and we went to the luau. I wasn't drinking in Hawaii that trip for whatever reason, but I was bummed at the luau because I was like, everyone's getting like, these Mai Tais, and I'm drinking water, and I looked, and this mom was clearly on oxys, and you watched her nod out at the table, and when you see something like that and you're not drinking, you're like, thank God I'm not fucking drinking. I remember watching her nod out, and her whole family sees it, and she's like.
Well, dude, what percentage of this country is hooked on oxys right now? It's got to be like a scary percentage.
I bet it's. What do you think's more, oxys or Xanax? Xanax is totally plausible. Take a Xanax, you're going to be fine. My cardiologist, Dr. Gadan, shout out to Dr. Gadan, he's a big fan of yours, but he told me, I said something about Xanax, and he goes, "Hey man, I'm your doctor. Don't ever fucking take those things." I was like, really? He goes, "This is the leading cause of dementia. Do not take fucking Xanax."
Xanax is the leading cause of dementia?
So he told me, he was like, by the way, I apologize, Doctor, can I give you a shout out? And he's like, "That's not my exact words, Bert. God damn it."
Yeah, you might have fucked that up. We might want to delete that.
No, he said your brain, it turns your brain to mush.
Well, it's definitely not good for your brain. It's one of the most dangerous drugs to get off.
Oh, they won't admit you to rehab if you're on benzos.
Right.
Like we took a friend to rehab one time, and one question they asked, "Have you taken a benzo in the last 24 hours?" And he was like, "Yeah." And they're like, "Nope, can't take you." They don't want to deal with it. It is so dangerous to get off benzos.
Yeah, it's one of the. There's only a few things that people die if they get addicted to, and then you cut them off. One of them is alcohol.
Really?
Yeah.
I think you have to drink. You have to drink when you wake up.
Oh yeah, you have to be a complete drunk, and somehow or another your body shifts into surviving drinking alcohol all the time. You're killing yourself for sure, but your body relies on it. I forget what the mechanism is, but there's an actual mechanism. There's some sort of a shift when your body's got so much alcohol, and then when you get off alcohol entirely, you can die.
Oh, you have a stroke.
I don't know what the cause of death is, but I know that benzos is another drug that does that. When you get off of it, you can die. Like, it's one of those things. If you just cold turkey benzos, if you're popping Xanax all day long and you're like, I'm done, like, you can die.
It's crazy how clean life is when you're not partying.
Oh yeah.
Like, you haven't drank in 2 weeks. Mm-hmm. It's like amazing how the sky looks different, the trees look different.
Well, you have more energy.
So much. The gym is night and day different.
Oh yeah.
Like, I work out every day regardless. Ran 5 miles today. Drank last night on the plane. 5 miles today. And now I feel clean, but then I go, if I don't drink tonight, which I doubt I probably will. Patty's Day. What are we talking about? Who are we lying to, Joe? But like the next day, I feel like $1 million. You get me in the gym, and I want to be on the treadmill, and I get excited for fucking those sissy squats you do.
Yeah,
I love those bitches. I got the board.
Oh yeah,
get a fucking
slant board squats.
Board squat. Get a 45 fucking weight in my arms.
Yeah,
do 15 of those bitches.
Those are great,
and you feel it. And you're like, that last one. You know what my favorite squat to do is? What's the one where you lean back and you squat when you're tilted back?
Squat, lean back. It's called bad form. Like,
no.
It's called back injury waiting to happen. Lean back and squat. That sounds crazy.
Like a landmine squat or something, where you have the pole. You have the.
Oh, okay, yeah, landmine. Yeah.
And you get deep into that bitch.
Oh yeah. Those are great. Those are great for like rotational force too.
Oh yeah.
You know, Viking shit. You know what I'm saying?
I'm always impressed when a man can program his own workout.
Really?
I can't. Yeah, because I can't. Like if you, I think
you don't do your own workouts.
No, I have a guy program for me.
Okay,
he comes to my house and trains me every day.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. So you don't work out on your own at all?
If I work out on my own, I run.
Okay, so you must like that, right? We get alone time. You must like that.
I love getting on the treadmill by myself and just fucking going.
Yeah, alone time's big. So that's what I like the most about like working out by myself. Like, I can figure out what to do. I know what to do.
Yeah.
So I just program my own shit.
Yeah, I think that's impressive. I tell you what,
so much shit to do.
The game changer for me in working out, and I think that, you know, I never understood like guys like Cam or David Goggins, and then they pushed themselves so hard. And when we did that bench press competition, I realized most of the time when everyone works, the regular person works out, they just want to get through it and be done with it. Right. They're like, I know, I cheated a little bit, but fuck it, that was 12. Yeah. But when you're training for something, and this must be like this with mixed martial artists and with all those motherfuckers, you're training your body for an actual event,
right?
To protect yourself from other men.
Yeah.
And I was like, and when I had a goal in mind, I was like, oh, this is different. Like, I'm doing everything he's telling me to do, and I'm doing it the right way, and I'm doing it to like failure, because I'm trained. If I know that if I do that, then when I get to the day where I do the bench, I can then complete the mission I'm set out to do.
Right. And you got a goal.
I think a more goal-oriented workout, like if they said, like, dude, just so you know, a wolf's coming to your house in 2 weeks.
Right.
You know, we need to work out, get ready for that wolf.
Right.
You'd work out so hard.
Right.
For that fucking wolf.
Yeah, I'd be like, fuck.
Yeah.
Dude. I tell you about my friend in Colorado, they let wolves loose near his land.
No.
Yeah, they just let wolves loose in Colorado. They let a bunch loose in one part of the state, and then they let a bunch more loose. He said it was 5. I don't know if that's accurate, but that's what he was told. And
for what purpose? Just
they've decided to repopulate the state with wolves, and they're getting wolves from like British Columbia. So these big ass fucking Canadian wolves are coming in and fucking the elk up. And this is outside of Aspen. So these are like all these really wealthy people.
Holy shit.
And they let wolves loose on their property. And by the way, there's livestock there. These people have cattle. They have all sorts of... So far, the wolves in his area haven't attacked cattle because there's an abundance of elk up there. It's a big elk corridor where the elk migrate. And I took a picture and posted it up on Instagram of an elk leg that he found just like within 2 weeks of them being released. They'd already started killing elk on his property. So a wolf took out an elk and left the leg bone just laying in the snow.
Wait, how many wolves did they let go?
5, he thinks. This is what he told me.
Wolves, did they release them as a pack?
I don't know if they will pack up. I don't know if they knew each other before. I don't know what the fucking neighborhood
Did they
the
grow up
wolves they
together?
took from. Yeah, so that's what we found.
Shit.
So that's an elk leg that's just been stripped down. The lower leg, no meat on it, just the hoof and some fur and shit. It's laying in a bunch of just a bunch of disturbed areas. It was all fucked up. You could tell some shit went down. So we found that piece there. They had dragged that from somewhere else, but there was a carcass up there too. So they basically can kill. They could probably kill 1 or 2 elk a day, and they probably will do that now. And so the elk population will rapidly diminish. The elk have no idea. They've never evolved around wolves. These elk are in like who knows how many generations with no wolves. So the United States had wolves all throughout the West, and then they eradicated them because they fucking kill everything. Because they kill livestock, they kill horses, they pack up, they get big packs, and then they devastate livestock, sheep herders, cattle. So they all murdered all the wolves. So now these people, these greenies, these little cutie pies, decided to bring back the most intelligent, telepathic apex predator that operates in packs, and you decided to let them loose near a ski town. Like, congratulations.
Why the fuck?
Because they're cute. Because these are people that grew up in cities and they don't understand. It's called ballot box biology. It's a bunch of people who grew up in the city. They don't know what the fuck they're doing. And they don't know what a wolf really is. They just think wildlife's amazing. And then so you've let loose apex predators in an area where nothing is prepared for them. These animals don't know to look for wolves. They've never experienced a wolf before. They don't have a natural instinct to run away when they see the wolves. Jesus. They don't know what the fuck is going on. And then you've got cattle.
You can't tell wolves what to kill either.
Of course not. Well, here's even better. The first ones they got, so they had a mandate to get these. Colorado voted. They voted it to release wolves. And so the governor had to get it done within a certain period of time. And so they got wolves from Oregon that had been killing cattle. So these wolves, they captured them because they had been killing cattle, and then they released them in Colorado where they, wait for it, started killing cattle.
Oh, shit.
Duh. So wolves are awesome, but they were making their way into Colorado by themselves. They were already coming down from Wyoming. There's wolves in Montana, Wyoming, Idaho, and they were making their way down naturally. But these idiots decided to accelerate the process and introduce this completely new element outside of a fucking ski town that's going to kill people's dogs, for sure. If they get to a healthy population, you're never going to be able to let your dog go outside.
Yeah.
That's over. Cats, dead. Everybody dead.
They're like 10 times worse than coyotes. You remember coyotes?
They're giant coyotes.
You ever seen coyotes jump fences?
Oh, yeah.
And you're like, there's no protecting my chickens from fucking coyotes.
I saw a coyote jump a fence with one of my chickens in its mouth. Jumped a 6-foot-high wrought iron fence like it was nothing. Bound, touched the top of the fence with its feet with a chicken in its mouth. And right over the top, I was like, whoa. I was so delusional. Yeah. I thought, like, oh, this fence is this big. They can't get over that. Dude, one jump. Feet to the top, other feet to the top, over the top with a chicken in his mouth.
All my neighbors have red lights on their fences. That's the only thing that stops coyotes, I say.
Oh, they won't jump over a red light?
I have no fucking idea. But they all have it looks like a red bicycle light on every panel of their fence.
They're little monsters.
What state?
They're wolves too, by the way.
They are?
Coyotes are wolves. Yeah, they're small wolves.
I remember, it's funny, the little things you remember. I remember you talking about the coyotes honey dicking your dog one time.
Yeah.
I always think that's the funniest phrase, honey dicking.
Yeah, they try to honey dick your dog. So what they do is one coyote, I've told this story before, but I'll say it quick. I went to this pet store that I used to go to. And one of the guys that worked in the pet store, he was a veterinarian. And he brought in, someone had brought in this pit bull that was covered in cuts. Like his whole body was like hundreds of stitches. And he's like, what happened? He was like, I don't know. He got out. And then, when I came home, he was outside the fence, and this is what he looked like. So this guy, they stitched the dog up, and then he follows a blood trail into the woods outside of his house where he finds 9 dead coyotes.
Oh, shit.
So they honey-dicked, a giant pit bull, Like one of them super jacked, muscular pit bulls
Yeah.
with a fucking fire hydrant head.
The kind that are on the front of rap albums.
Terrifying pit bull. And this pit bull just killed everyone. They fucked with the John Wick of pit bulls. And he just killed them all. Killed all the coyotes. They were all just, he said it looked like Vietnam. He said they were just torn apart. Because once the dog killed them, he's not going to stop. He's going to start shaking them. You know, picking, especially a pit bull like that that's in a blood rage that just fight for its life. Oh. Like, it was probably so happy to do this because pit bulls just want to fight all the time.
I've been wanting to do this every fucking
he was
day
so
I wake
pumped.
up.
It was the guy who's a jiu-jitsu black belt and a drunk grabs and was like, thank you. Thank you. I've been practicing for this my whole life. But you imagine the scene? Imagine a scene just dead coyotes just ripped apart, just throats torn open, guts hanging out, legs broken. Because this dog, if a dog like that bites a coyote's leg, that leg's broken. That's a shattered leg. That leg doesn't work anymore.
The poundage that pit bulls bite is fucking wild.
You know what a wolf is?
What?
It's like 5 times stronger.
Are you shitting me?
Yeah, that's how crazy these retards are that let loose these apex telepathic super predators into a ski town. We're filled with super rich people. And the super rich people, right now, they're finding out about this. They are freaking the fuck out.
I bet they are.
Oh, yeah. All my buddy who lives out there, all his neighbors, they're all trying to figure out what they can do. You know, they're all collared, too. So there's an app, and you can get on the app and find out where the monsters are. Yeah, you want to get scared?
Yeah, I want to get, hang on, I got to get that app. I got to get that app.
How about you're walking, and then you see the fucking app is showing you they're behind you. All 5 of them behind you, and you're with your family. But maybe you voted on that because you think wolves are amazing. That's Little Red Riding Hood, bro.
We can track these wolves on an app.
Track them on an app.
That's kind of cool.
It's kind of cool to know where the monsters are. But they
do that with sharks, great white sharks.
But these people in the neighborhood are all tracking these wolves, so they're all freaking out because these wolves are like circling their homes, circling their property.
Fuck.
Wolves. Some of them have gone right through fields with cattle and not done anything about it. Yeah, they don't even understand why. They haven't attacked any cattle yet. But these are ones that are outside of Aspen. So the ones that they brought in from Oregon, that's not outside of Aspen. That's a different spot. Those are the ones that were depredation tags. They were already killing wildlife, or they were killing cattle.
What state do you think has the most predators? Like Australia has the most predators in the
country?
world. In our country, yeah.
I would say Alaska for sure.
Florida.
Oh yeah, that's a good call.
Florida's
Florida
crazy.
for sure. Florida now, because you brought in reptiles. Yeah, 100%. Florida has more pythons in the Everglades than all the rest of the world.
Yeah. Do you see those kids that go in? You see those kids that dive in and grab them?
I had Python Cowboy on the show. He brought me up. Don't we have a python head laying around here somewhere? Something.
Oh, look at that! Look at that!
Yeah.
Apex predator. Florida is
jacked.
No one even comes close to Florida.
No one's even close. Wait a minute.
Wait.
Maine?
Maine?
Why does Maine?
It's not Maine.
What is it?
New Hampshire? No, Vermont.
Vermont.
What is that? This one, right?
That's got
right. Okay, so the one with the boot.
Well, this is not good, guys.
the boot is Massachusetts, right? Or no, that's New York.
Yeah, hold on.
We're so stupid. You know who could draw the whole map by hand? Al Franken.
Vermont. It's Vermont.
Vermont.
Okay, yeah, it's Massachusetts is the
in
one
Vermont?
with the hook. Okay, so Vermont predators. Yeah, what predators are in Vermont? That must be like wolverines and shit. Oh, red and gray foxes, coyotes,
Bobcats.
black bears, fishers, bobcats, and red and gray foxes, with wolves and lynx also present, although the latter are rare.
Good God.
Interesting.
I remember. I
Black
said,
bears.
I said the other day on Instagram, I had my hose all wrapped up, and I was like, I don't know if this is because I'm from Florida, but I never put my hand into a hose bucket without kicking it a couple times.
When you say I got my hose all wrapped up, I thought you had you ladies making money.
My hose doesn't
My
make any
hose
money.
are wrapped up. They're making that money. I got my hose wrapped up.
Have you ever had rattlesnake on your property out here? You have?
Yeah. Out here, we've had one. One of my neighbors had a couple coral snakes in her garage. Those are scary.
Coral snakes are the ones that look like
red and black.
But it's
They're
like
beautiful.
Black and yellow, kill a fellow. Red and
What is it?
red, white, and blue. I don't know.
America.
He's cool.
I don't know what but my old house in California, there was a bunch of them.
Your old house was in the wilderness.
Yeah, I was in a place where there was a lot of
Red
wildlife.
touches yellow, kill a fellow. Red touches black, venom lack.
What does that mean?
There's no venom.
Oh, to help identify venomous coral snakes. Oh, I see.
'Cause I think
so
we have
some
those-
coral snakes are not venomous?
No, it's a
Oh, yeah, that's what it looked like.
it's a king snake. A scarlet king snake is harmless. Coral snakes are deadly.
Okay,
And so we had both in Florida, I think. So you never got near either of them.
But go back to that image, Jamie. The one on the top, red touches yellow, kill a fellow. That's it. So that's the one that'll kill it. Red touches black, scarlet king snake, harmless. Interesting.
I'm not going to roll the dice on that.
I would not remember this. I would fuck that up.
I'd be like, wait,
that
black.
thing looks like it will fucking for sure kill you.
Red touches black. Step back. What? Yellow, black,
Red
and
touches
yellow.
yellow, kill a fellow. That's the one. That's all you have to remember. Red touches yellow, kill a fellow.
Black and yellow, black and yellow.
That's red touches yellow. Fuck that creature. So my friend, she had 2 of them in her garage. Yeah, not good.
Not
but,
good.
my old house, did you ever meet Frank? You never met Frank. I used to have this pit bull named Frank Sinatra, and Frank
I only knew Johnny.
killed everything. Everything that got in that yard was dead.
Really?
Yeah, he was a psycho. And he would kill rattlesnakes all the time. So he'd get bit all the time. So like fucking...
I'm like, wait, how did he not get bit?
He got bit every time. So I have to keep bringing him to the fucking vet. I brought him to the vet like at least 3 times. And one time I had to bring him twice because he had been stung. He'd been bitten by rattlesnakes so many times that he had developed some sort of an immunity. So I brought him the first time, and we're at the vet. He was super friendly. He was the sweetest dog. Loved everybody, but like vicious with snakes and lizards. Yeah. Lizards are like his video game. He would like jump on the walls to try to get the lizards that were crawling on the walls. He would leap into the air to try to get these lizards. So I brought him to the vet, and the vet's like, I don't see a puncture mark, and he's not swelling, so I wouldn't worry about it. And I'm like, wow, how the fuck did you kill that snake and not get bit? And then I brought him back to the house, and then his face immediately swole back up again. So then I had to bring him back to the vet, and the vet's like, he's been stung, he's been bit so many times that he probably has some sort of an immunity.
Jesus.
Yeah.
So it's a coral snake too that doesn't go by the rhyme.
That is so
and that is
beautiful.
One of the most venomous snakes in the world.
God, I would assume that would fuck you up.
It kills king cobras apparently.
It kills king cobra. Look
it's
how
a Malaysian,
beautiful it is.
Blue coral.
Somewhere there's some idiot in Florida in a death metal band that wants this. And he's going to have it in his house until he can't feed it anymore. It's like, little fella, I got to let you go. And he's going to let it loose, and it's going to go in the fucking Everglades, and then you're going to have 500,000 of them there.
Slash had poisonous snakes in his house.
Of course he did. Look at him.
And then there was an earthquake.
Oh, great.
I think I read that in one of their books, or I talked to Slash once about it.
They got out? And
I think they got out, and they had to send someone in the house to, I can't remember exactly, but there was an earthquake, and he had like a cobra.
Oh, God.
Yeah. I don't understand. I mean, I understand wanting to have a snake, but poisonous snakes, I can't wrap my head around.
No.
You can never touch it. You can never play with it.
Fuck all snakes. How about that? How about all that?
How about
snakes are the reason why we wear clothes? A snake tricked Eve into eating that fucking apple, and now we're ruined. All right? Now we have to have Jesus come save us.
You definitely
Snakes.
look like you would have gone through a lizard phase, though.
No. Well, listen. I had one idea that was the dumbest idea.
The guy in Cops. The snake guy.
What is going on?
The cop doesn't
He's got
want
snakes?
Yeah, fuck, I was
Oh, this is the wrong cop to pull a snake out with?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. I'll stand right here.
Now wait a minute. You don't understand how many there are.
Dude.
You see all them snakes right there?
Yeah.
You see them snakes right there?
Yeah.
They're my babies. I care more about them snakes than I do a human life. Just like that, man. Them snakes mean more.
Look, he's already out the door. He's like, sure thing, buddy.
So I had this one idea once. I had this house that was it had like a center courtyard, and I was gonna seal off the center courtyard and get a crocodile monitor.
Badass fucking monitor.
And feed it rabbits. and have like a wild kingdom in the center of my house.
I love it.
So I was going to set up trees because it had like open air. So I was like, I'm going to set up a canopy, trap it in there like a greenhouse, make it nice and warm so it's his environment, put trees up everywhere, and then just let shit loose and watch.
Yeah.
Then I was like, that's so fucked up. It's like, and then I started thinking, like, what's wrong with you? It's like, if I started thinking about me, I didn't like me. Like, imagine taking one of your friends over your house, and you have a murder sanctuary in the centerpiece of your home.
Oh.
The atrium of your home is just like you watch animals just get slaughtered. They have no chance of escape, unlike the wild.
Oh.
In the wild, a rabbit can get away.
Dude, we used to
Kind
do
of a
that
fair fight.
in our fraternity. My buddy Mason had a big python. And they'd buy rats and they'd put money on it and they'd put them in the corners and put the python in the center. And they have the benches from our cafeteria lined up. It'd be in a square. And we bet on which one he'd eat first. And it was crazy. Rats would go right up to the snake's face and touch the snake's face. Snake wouldn't even fucking touch it. And then all of a sudden, you'd see him coil up.
Yeah, they just make their move.
I had a Savannah monitor. I had a iguana. Savannah monitor ate mice. And then the iguana, just nothing. It just
those rats that they fed that snake, or those mice they fed that snake. Those things are just bred in captivity. They have no fear. They don't know. They don't know what's going to hurt them and what's not going to hurt them. Nothing's ever hurt them. Everything's just fed them.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, serpent.
My dog caught a squirrel. My dog, I have 2 bull mastiffs. Mac, the big one, has been, he's wanted to catch a squirrel the same way I've wanted to have anal sex with my wife. Like, he wants it every fucking day. And then he caught a squirrel, and I think it would be the same as if I had anal sex with my wife. It was way messier than he thought. He thought it was going to be a fun game, and he broke it in half and was throwing it, and then it wasn't moving, and he'd move it, and I was like, oh, buddy, you should have never got what you wanted. He was like, this isn't fun anymore. I looked at him. He's just like, what the fuck? I guess I'll eat grass now?
Yeah, clean his mouth out. Ugh, squirrel
my
guts.
2 bull mastiffs caught the, possum who was killing our chickens.
Possums kill chickens?
Possum killed our chickens.
No
3
shit.
chickens. I'm almost saying like back to back to back.
Oh, of course they do. They look like predators.
Yeah.
I mean, they have a predator mouth.
And my 2 bull mastiffs caught a possum, and they tortured this thing. I'm talking Al-Qaeda beheading video while we were out to dinner. And we got home, and furniture was moved around, and this fucking possum was soaking wet. I mean, must have thrown this thing around the room, and it was just in the corner playing dead.
It was still alive?
Yeah, and the dogs were just fucking ragdolling it.
How is it still alive?
I don't know. We had to catch it
Your
in a
Mastiff
bucket.
is fucking huge.
Yeah, they were just toying with it, I think. They were just fucking throwing them around. They had them cornered in the back. We had a bucket, and you can't kill possums in the county of L.A. It's illegal to kill a possum.
That's hilarious.
I know.
That's so funny. You know you can kill coyotes.
No, in L.A.?
Oh, yeah.
Are you being serious?
Yeah.
Because we have a den of coyotes that come back through our backyard at times.
Coyotes are like rats.
Dude,
that's how they look at them. I don't think they're like rats. Let me just be real clear. I think they're cool. But I wanted to kill one. I wanted to kill them when they killed all my chickens.
Dude,
they killed all my fucking chickens.
I have a Hoyt bow with a 69-pound tension that would light a fucking coyote. I've been wanting to hunt something.
Yeah. Don't shoot your neighbors, dude. California laws allows for the killing of fur-bearing mammal that is injuring property at any time and in any manner. However, animal cruelty laws prohibit maliciously and intentionally maiming, mutilating, torturing, wounding, or killing an animal.
There I go.
Wait a minute. Prohibit intentionally killing an animal. So how can you have a law that allows for killing a fur-bearing mammal that is injuring property at any time in any manner, but also have a law that prohibits intentionally killing an animal?
It's got to be doing injuring.
It says maliciously, so you'd be angry.
Wait, hold on. Am I saying the word possum wrong?
Opossums. No, I say it. Opossum,
Yeah,
I think is the right way to say it.
It's like
did you know it's wheelbarrow?
It's not barrel?
It's wheelbarrow.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Makes it illegal to intentionally and maliciously kill an animal. But intentionally and maliciously are different things. Like if you're killing an animal to protect your dog, the key, here it is. The key difference lies in the intent and manner of killing. Killing an opossum that is causing damage to property is one thing, but torturing or inflicting unnecessary suffering is a different matter. Okay, that makes sense.
So I
okay,
think my dogs broke the law.
Here's a guy was convicted and sentenced for torturing an opossum to death, including beating, burning, and hanging it from a noose.
Okay.
That's a little bit much.
That's a
little
lot.
much. Another case,
Sounds like a hate crime.
father and son were arrested for allegedly killing an opossum, but the arrests were later deemed unlawful, and the city settled a lawsuit with the family for $400,000. Okay. Consider contacting a professional pest control operator or wildlife removal service. Yeah, I mean, I'm not too worried about possums, but
In our old house, we had
coyotes
rats.
are to be worried about.
I'd fucking light up a coyote.
They're to be worried about if you have a small dog.
I need them to be exactly 25 yards away from me, though.
You know?
Because I don't, that's all I'm only scoped out from my porch to the fire pit.
Don't you have a adjustable sight?
No, I have 4 sights.
Oh,
I didn't
okay.
really learn that much about bow hunting with Cam. I just shot a couple times. But I know that like one sight is for that distance, one sight's for that distance.
Right.
And I don't even need the second sight in my backyard. Like my backyard's not that big.
Right. You should go somewhere where you could practice. Like
They have a good one. They have a good one in, I think, it's over in a park. They have a whole archery range.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, you should go there.
I get weird with that shit. I have weird issues about like joining in or doing something new, like getting into a spin class, and I've never met anyone.
Mm-hmm.
I just kind of like doing it in my backyard.
Doing it in the backyard is fun, but just for your own ability to get better at it, you really should stretch out your distance.
Yeah.
Because what happens is there's little tiny errors in your form that don't show up at 20 yards that'll show
real?
up at 60 yards. And you got to find out what those are. Like I always shoot at 85 yards.
You shoot at 85 yards?
85 yards.
At your house?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
God,
I set 85 yards is a distance I would never shoot an animal at. And if I could be super accurate at 85 yards, when an animal's at 50 yards, it feels to me like a chip shot. Like I can just nail it because I'm always shooting long distances. So at a long distance, any little deviation or torque of your hand,
Oh, yeah.
it can make a big difference in how the arrow goes off. And at 70 yards, it might be 4 or 5, 6 inches to the left, to the right, up, down. It's spread out, and you want to tighten it up like this. You want to get that group like a softball. That's what I want. I want a softball at 85 yards. That's when I know I can go hunting.
Yeah.
When I can get a softball at 85 yards, I'm dialed in. So
I've been shooting from a higher platform too. Is that bad?
That's very good. That's very good. Especially if you ever have to go hunting in a tree stand. Tree stand hunting is very difficult. So I've only done it once. My good friend John Dudley took me to his farm in Iowa. John actually taught me a lot about archery too. Like most of what I know about like form and technique, I learned from John. And anyway, John has this amazing setup in Iowa, and you go up in these tree stands, and you have to like buckle yourself in with like a safety wire or a safety rope.
Yeah.
And you're sitting there like all day. You sit all day. All day. It's freezing. It's November. It's in Iowa. It's fucking 3 degrees. You're just sitting there freezing your fucking dick off. And sometimes you have these giant suits that you put over your whole body and zip up like you're a giant burrito of fur, almost like a sleeping bag.
And you're sober and you're not doing anything but just waiting.
Yeah, you can't be drunk.
You can't be listening to like a podcast.
You really shouldn't. You want to hear branches snapping. You want to hear the little cracks, the little sounds, little that's what you're listening for. Guys even wear these things called Walker game ears. And Walker game ears it's almost like a hearing aid, and you put them in and you crank it up and you can hear things like way amplified. There's a certain headphones that you wear if you go to a gun range that they tune out any sound that's over a certain pitch, like a certain volume, but amplify other sounds. So you can hear people talking like from way away.
Really?
Yeah, way stronger like ability to hear. But then the gun, it cuts out the sound when it gets to a dangerous. So every gun's like tack, 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 tack. But the sound of other people is still present. So you could talk at a gun range. You don't have to have like full ear, like the foam ones stuffed in there where you have to pull, like at Terran Tactical, they always use those.
Yeah.
You have to pull them out to talk to people. These you can, so these guys wear things like that so they can hear everything in the forest.
Wow.
They can hear every little sound because when a deer's coming in, they come in slowly, they're all wary and shit. They're stepping on the grass. They're moving around, and you might just hear something, just a rustle, and you're like, "Where's it?" And you see him. Oh shit! There he is. There he is. And then you got to get your bow. So you're waiting all day for one moment, and you're shooting down.
Yeah.
Because like the animals, like they're down like below you, or like you're at a like sharp angle. So you have to have like a range compensating, an angle compensating rangefinder. Because the shot might be 40 yards, but it actually might be 20 yards because you're shooting straight down.
Yeah.
So you're shooting straight down. You're the way your arrow is going to drop, it's not going to be as affected by gravity. So like if you're shooting 40 yards on a flat plane, the arrow is going to arc and it's going to drop. So over the course of the 40 yards, if your arrow is going 290 feet per second, which is a good speed, it's going to slowly drop until it gets to 40 yards. So that's why your range, like you set up the pin, you move it to where the arrow is going to be when it finally gets there at 40 yards.
Wait,
You'll know where the
can you
dip
move your
is.
own pin?
Oh yeah.
Oh, I need camera.
Well, I have a wheel. It's set up that like I have what's called a spot hog, fast eddy, and it's got 2 pins on it. And one pin will be at 20 yards, the other pin will be at 35 yards. And then I move it down, and then the one pin is at 50 yards, and the other pin is at like 75 yards.
Oh, that's not mine.
Or 65
Mine
yards.
just got four different sights.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So mine is an adjustable one that's on a wheel, and that's what you need because like with a range, like say if a deer's coming in and you're in a tree stand, you look and you're like, that's pretty far away, but it's pretty far like this, straight down. So pretty far straight down, your arrow's not going to drop as much as
straight.
if you were shooting straight.
Yeah.
If you're shooting straight, it's going to go boom, and then so you have to have a rangefinder that figures that out for you.
Oh,
And it
shit.
says even though that's 40 yards away, the angle compensation is actually 26 yards. So you have to dial your shit to 26 yards, and then you'll be perfect.
Have you ever gone fishing with a bow?
No, I have not, but it looks amazing.
It is so fucking difficult.
It looks fun too, though.
It's fun, but it's difficult because of the water reflection. You've got to shoot like
6 inches below it, right?
Yeah. Well, I don't know because I never got one. So yeah, I was a little drunk. I was like, this will be easy.
I think you have to shoot 6. It's refraction, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you have to shoot below what you see.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a mind fuck.
When we sat out there, it was salmon all over.
Oh,
you could see
really?
them. It was, yeah, and I fucking must have taken 100 shots.
Oh man, that must have been so fun.
It was fun, but you know.
Is that like a recurve bow, or is that a bow with a release? Do you have a release?
I don't remember. I think it was a compound bow.
Oh, okay.
I think so.
Yeah, that's better. The compound bow, you could be more accurate. So with a compound bow, like I don't know how to aim with a recurve bow at all. I've only shot one like 3 or 4 times ever, and I went on this trip to Lanai with my family, and one of the things that they had was like this little archery lesson. You could take archery classes and shoot at the little targets, and they had recurve bows. I'd never shot a bow without a sight before, so I was like trying to like line it up.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
How do you line up how do you know where the arrow's gonna go?
That's
You have no
the
idea.
only bows I've ever shot.
It was like a recurve?
Yeah,
Yeah.
recurve. I shot a recurve bow. We did like archery lessons in Italy, and so we were at different. You know how like those hills are like almost like steps, and so they'd have. But it was weird because the recurve bow was such that you had to hold it kind of like at an angle.
At an angle, yeah.
So that
The arrow stays on the
yeah,
shelf.
and during the pandemic, I got the girls both recurve bows, and we would shoot in the backyard all the time.
It's fun. It's definitely fun, but it's kind of like throwing a rock or like throwing a baseball. Like you've got to like have a feel for where that baseball's going to go at 30 yards, at 40 yards, at 50. You know,
Yeah.
like if you had to throw a baseball and hit a tree, you would know, okay, I got to throw it a little harder.
Yeah.
You get a feel. So that's different than regular archery, compound archery. Because compound archery, you're basically relying on the sight and the technique. Like you dial it in, you get that pin, it's at 42 yards, and then you're just going through your shot process. You're just staying steady and making sure you go through your shot process perfect so that when the shot breaks, the arrow goes exactly where you want to. But with a recurve, like you have to practice all the time because you have to have that feel.
Yeah.
You have to have a feel and know where that arrow is going to go. Like you're looking down the shaft of your arrow, but your accuracy is greatly diminished compared to like a compound bow.
I haven't shot my I only shoot my compound bow now, but I haven't shot my recurve bow with the little wristlet thing Cam gave me.
Yeah.
I'd like to do that. because I use always just my fingers.
Well, that's an interesting thing. So use a release on a recurve. I'm sure people do that. You'd have to put a D loop on it though, or no, I guess not. You could hold it from the top or the bottom. That would be better. Yeah, that would definitely be better. So you definitely get a more consistent release. But people want to be primitive. You know, like the real psychos, what happens is guys, the highest level of bow hunting is guys go after like elk and deer with a recurve bow. My friend Aaron Schneider did that for a couple of years. He only shot, because he's like a elite hunter, like an elite bow hunter.
But what's the ultimate poundage of a recurve bow? What's the highest it can go?
You're not getting it nearly the amount of kinetic energy.
No.
So the kinetic energy you would get from a compound bow, like Aaron's a big guy, he's pretty jacked, and so like his bow is like an 82, 85 pound bow probably. And he's a big guy, so he's probably got a 30-inch draw, somewhere around that. So he's getting insane amounts of kinetic energy in these arrows. That's just blowing through everything.
That's the craziest part of getting fitted for a bow. Because I was always come here. I was like, Joe, let me shoot your bow, and you're like, it's not that easy because it's set up for a person.
Yeah, it's set up for your wingspan. Like you're taller than me, so what is your do you know where your draw length is?
No, Cam did all of it, and I was just listening.
Your draw length's probably 29 and a half, maybe 30 inches. Mine's 28. So I used to have 28 and a half, and then I dropped down to 28, and I adjusted a few things, and I feel like the more tension at the end, like the further back you are, like I know guys who want extra energy, and so they're what's called overdrawn. So they maybe should have a 27-inch draw, but they have a 29-inch draw, and they have their release way back here. Wow. So they're shooting things totally different. You would never tell anybody to do that.
Yeah.
But some guys get really good doing that, and then they just stick with it. Like it's all about repeatability. But Cam taught me. Like Cam he's smaller than his draw is a little bit smaller than mine. His is 27, and he had a longer draw. He started out with a longer draw as well, but then for him, the ultimate thing is accuracy. Yeah. And he's like, when your bow is more tense, more taut, and there's more tension on it. If it's a shorter draw length, you're more accurate. You want to get it perfect.
Yeah.
You want exactly what your frame is. And for me, it seems like 28 inches is the right number.
I had one of my most manly moments of my entire life in that fucking bow in that bow store.
It's a very manly place,
dude. Cam's like they had me set for like a 40-pound bow, and I go okay, and he was like, I go, what do you guys shoot? Like you and Rogan, he was like 80 pounds, I think. It was what he said.
90.
Oh, okay, so it's 90.
Yeah,
so Cam goes, I go, is that one tough to pull back? And he was like, yeah. And I was like, can I try? And he was like, okay. So he pulls it and brings it over. All the bow guys are there. Uh-huh. So I pull it back. And Cam goes, hold on. Hang on. Takes the bow off, and he puts it, and he measures it. And he's like, there's no way he did that. And he measured the test. He goes, God damn it. He goes, all right, let's move over to 69.
You're a strong dude, man. You were talking about how you bench press. What are you bench pressing now? 315?
325.
325 for how many?
Just one.
That's impressive. That's a lot of weight. It's dangerous for your shoulders, though. That's why I don't like it.
It's not sustainable, and there's no reason to do it because as I did it, I gained weight. Like I gained 10
bulky.
pounds. Yeah, like this is going to sound so silly, and you know me so well that you're going to laugh when I say this, but like my jackets weren't fitting.
No, I'm sure.
Like
you got thick for a while.
My shoulders and my chest and my biceps and my triceps, everything in the jacket just wouldn't fit.
A year ago when you were at the club, I was calling you Jack Bert. Remember?
Yeah,
I was like, because you wanted to say it. I go, dude, you look different now. It's not as funny when you take your shirt off because I'm like, he's fucking jacked. You look like a football player. You look like a Tank Abbott. That's what you look like.
Tank Abbott was a bad
bouncer.
motherfucker.
He was a bad motherfucker.
I was pretty skinny in the special. Not skinny, but like I was in good shape in the special. Tanned, really tanned. Yeah. Special outfit.
Bro, Tank Abbott. He put like UFC on the map.
Dude, that early generation of guys were so charismatic.
Oh,
yeah. I mean, when you look like Frank, what's his name?
Shamrock.
Frank Shamrock.
Oh, yeah.
Hoist Gracie.
Oh, yeah.
Tank Abbott.
Ken Shamrock.
Dude, that was like the
Don Fry. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Where were we just at the other day? I was UFC with my wife. And I was saying to her, She was like,
So that was her first one live.
oh yeah.
Have you seen one? You saw one live at the Apex.
I saw
right?
I saw one live at Madison Square Garden.
Oh, that's right. That's
Yeah.
right. That was a good one too.
Yeah, but I bought the tickets, so we sat up in the nosebleeds.
That made me angry. Don't ever buy tickets.
I know, but I'm never going to ask you for something.
We know.
I get angry when people ask you for shit because you're so generous with everyone.
Yeah, that doesn't.
I feel bad. You called and you said, "Do you want tickets?" And I was like, first of all, you're like, "Are you going to UFC?" And I was like, "I'm not going to say. I don't want to sound."
Well, you told me
like,
you were going to slap fight. I'm like, okay, you're here.
Yeah.
Like I didn't know if you were set up yet.
No, and I wasn't going to ask Dana for tickets.
Come on.
And then you're like, "Oh, let me get you tickets." And then you go, "UFC's got better tickets." Dude, that was a fucking fever dream that night. It was
fun.
me and Theo.
Yeah.
I don't think I've laughed harder with an individual in my fucking life.
No, there's no one better than Theo for. Can we get that
Yeah.
lighter? For a hang,
Dude.
Just talking shit, being silly.
It was me, him, and my wife the whole time. They were like, because we went to Slap Fight together, then we went to UFC together, sat next to Taylor, sat next to Max Crosby, sat next to Mel Gibson, Taylor Sheridan. Look at that.
That's awesome.
Mario Lopez.
What a fucking crew.
The
Look at
guys
that.
are like Max and Taylor
What
Lewan.
a fucking crew.
Taylor Lewan's the one who did me the bench press bet with.
Oh,
him
no
and Bustin'
shit.
with the boys. He was like, he saw me try to get 300. He was like, "You can't get 300.
Bro, we went gambling with him and Jamie and Shane and all these and Dana White in Vegas, and I watched him beat down. Dana was betting for him. Dana was telling him what to bet, and they have this system. Okay, whatever.
Yeah.
But he's up. He's up like a considerable amount of money
Yeah.
over the course of all the times they've been gambling. But they gamble heavy.
Very.
And Jamie and I were getting severe anxiety. They
Dude.
were down $125,000 in the first 5 minutes. Do you remember that?
Yeah,
How scary was that?
I was like, let me jump in with you guys. He's like, don't.
Dude, it's, I was like, let me get a marker, I'll hop out. Now, I've never gotten a marker. I got a marker one time with Tommy for,
What do you have to do? Do you have to give me your credit card?
they've got to do a fucking bank transfer. It takes a long time to get a marker.
A bank transfer?
Unless you've done it
In
before.
Vegas?
Yeah, dude, it took me an hour and a half to get a fucking marker.
How do you get a bank transfer in the middle of the night? You have to call your bank?
I don't think you can get a marker unless you've already had that established earlier.
And you had established?
No, I hadn't. Me and Tommy were there, and Tommy's like, "Get a marker." So I was like, "Okay." So I asked for a marker, and it took forever. They'd go through my financial guy, and then they came in.
Financial guys around in Vegas?
They called him. They called
At
him
home?
at work. It was like Tommy
What
and I
time
were,
was it?
Tommy and I were doing it when we did the Super Bowl like 2 years ago.
Oh, so it was daytime.
It was daytime.
Okay.
And so Tommy had already
Jesus
gotten his
Christ.
marker, and it took me forever to get a marker. I got a $50,000 marker, and dude, I got so nervous. I bet $1,000, lost 300, and I was like, I'm done.
Dude,
I was such a
just
pussy.
remember being poor too well. I do.
It's not. Gambling's not fun unless it sparkles. Unless
Right.
there's like
Terror.
unless there's terror.
Yeah.
It's not fun when you're like,
$20,
Yeah.
$50. Exactly.
I got to bet 50,000, all of that money on something to feel it. But I love the feeling, but the feeling's not worth it to lose the money.
Yeah.
The losing the money, holy shit.
Dana White, when we got there, what was he down? $600,000? Something like that. Yeah, he was down $600,000. And he stayed all night, and he was there till like 5 o'clock in the morning, and he got it back and was up $600,000 when he left.
He gambles.
He
And he
goes
plays Baccarat.
hard. He is a blackjack.
Baccarat, too. That's his
Does
new
it?
game.
Ooh.
Tommy and I did a podcast with him. And
I bet more.
what's that?
$500,000.
Oh,
Max there.
what is? I don't even know what that is. What is baccarat? I know the
I
name.
honestly
It's
couldn't tell you how to play it. I have no
I think
idea.
it's like a Chinese blackjack.
Oh, if I had to it was on a quiz show. Someone explain baccarat. I'd be like, fuck. I should fucking know that.
Ricky Tiki Tavi? I don't know.
I know what craps is. I know how that works. I don't know how it works. No, I do not know like the rules, like what is the cum line and all that shit.
You
I
know-
don't.
you
I
know
don't know what the
craps.
fuck. I know what it is. I know
Craps is
people
just
throw-
a simple game.
They throw the dice, but
Yeah.
all the cum and the fucking lines. And
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on.
Oh, craps is simple. Really, honestly, craps is a very
It's not simple.
yeah, but it's basically roll the dice. Whatever that number is, you just got to roll it again, and then
That's it?
everyone gets to bet on whether you're not going to roll it, whether you are going to roll it, and then they can bet on the other numbers that you might roll before you roll your second number, and then there's two rolls that get you out. And then if you roll those at the beginning, you get money. It's a simple game, technically. Not as simple as blackjack, but
And
Baccarat.
that's a good one that you get your wife to kiss the dice, and then you throw it.
Oh,
You
yeah.
get her to throw it for you, and she gets on a hot streak.
Dude, we got on a hot streak on a boat one time, me and my buddy Cowhead and our buddy Pete, and we were rolling hot, and fucking people are making a lot of money. I'm on my 20th roll, and I'm hitting them and hitting them and hitting them, and I grab them one time, and I go to roll, and the dealer guy hits my hands with the fucking stick, and I go, what? And he goes, miss roll, and I go, what? And then I rolled crapped out a 7, and I was like, fuck that. I go, fuck that, and then the guy goes, all right, I'm out, and he just clocked out and walked away, and me and my buddy Pete made him apologize to us.
Why did he say it was a bad roll?
They try to fuck up your flow. They don't want your flow to fucking.
Oh, they don't want you to stay hot.
Yeah, you're hot. Let's fuck it up.
What is this?
It's the world record shit for 4.5 hours straight.
What?
Yeah, the amount of money and the energy at that table would have been
Insane.
been bonkers.
The fun is the shit you say as you roll the
4
dice.
hours and 18 minutes later, Tomorrow had rolled a world record for craps rolls. She rolled 154 times. The odds of accomplishing this are 1 in 1.56 trillion.
Do you know how much money she made the people at that table?
What does that mean? So she rolled the same number every time?
No, it means that she didn't roll a 7 after her come out roll for that many rolls. She may have rolled a 7, but if you roll a 7 on your come out roll, then you get paid.
See, this is why it's confusing. They try to pretend it's not confusing.
No,
It's not confusing. Yeah, but you have to do it once
You
or
have to do
twice.
it a
You have to
couple
lose a little
times.
bit of money, and
I'm
then
not
you're kind
fucking
of sort
interested.
of.
Baccarat's the rough
I'm
one.
so not interested.
Dana said, he goes, take out, I think he said $275,000 marker to me and Tommy. He's like, and I was going to be in Vegas. He goes, Bert, take out a $275,000 marker. Come play Baccarat with me. I'll double your money. And I was like, if you just.
Nay.
Dude,
Nay, sir.
Tom's like, do it. And Leanne wouldn't let me do it. She's like, no fucking way. You're going to lose it. And he's going to be like, I didn't see that coming.
Or you're going to like get addicted to doing that and you're going to want to do it all the time. That's what she sees coming.
Dude.
She sees it coming like she sees everything else. She's like, no, big guy, give me those pills.
I got the ick on all of it.
Yeah, she's right. She's right. I mean, look, Danny's got a lot of money. He makes a lot of money. He can do that. He likes doing that. It works somehow or another. It wouldn't work for me.
No.
It's not my thing.
It's not my thing.
But for some people, like he loves living in Vegas. He loves playing.
He loves Vegas.
Loves it. Loves it. He's got the town wired. You know, why wouldn't he love it? You know, the sport's there all the time. We got the UFC PI there, so there's fights there almost. I mean, every month there's a fight at the Apex, at least.
Can I tell you the craziest experience of that whole thing, other than meeting Mel Gibson, which was a dream? He was the sweetest guy.
He's a nice guy.
He was a nice guy. I told you I met him on the plane and
Yeah.
flying here.
Yeah.
And then he walked by me. Like when we left at the plane, he's like, maybe I'll see you this weekend. I was like, hopefully. And then when he walked into UFC, he came over, grabbed my leg. He's like, what's up, big guy? And I was like, ah. And the guys next to me are like, Mel Gibson? And I was like, yeah. But the
We
coolest
go way back.
coolest part was the fucking guy Ari Emanuel. That watching the character from Entourage be himself, because I sat right behind him, and he's the guy.
He's much more reasonable
Oh,
than the character.
but he's still a character.
Oh, he's definitely a character. Yeah, nice guy.
He's a nice guy. Him and Peter Berg were right in front of me and Leanne.
I love that dude.
Peter Berg's
Peter Berg's great.
shit.
Have you been watching American Primeval?
Of course. Fuck me.
Fuck.
God.
Yeah.
Peter Berg's a great dude, and he was a great actor. Do you remember Aspen
yeah.
Extreme?
Yeah. He was great in the show too. He's great in American Primeval. He's great. He's been in a bunch of movies, but I think like he really shines as a filmmaker. You know.
Wait, what's the TV show Gary Oldman's in right now? Not Black Doves.
I don't know.
No, it's an Apple.
It's an Apple. Joe, this is the best damn show out there.
Apple's making some banging shows, man.
Slow Horses. Have you seen it?
No.
Joe,
Yeah?
Slow Horses is Gary Oldman's best work yet, in my opinion.
Really?
He is so fucking good, and it is such a great show.
Damn, Slow Horses on Netflix.
It's what's great about these shows.
Oh no, on Apple.
Like The English or Slow Horses or Black Doves, is there's 6 episodes, but it's a 6-episode arc. So it's not just like episodic like we remember like old dramas being where the whole thing happened in the hour and then you never have to watch that again. Brand new one, the whole thing happens in an hour. There are these episode arcs where it starts off telling a story and you pay out by the last episode, much like Peaky Blinders.
Right.
Peaky Blinders they were great standalone episodes, but that episode it was so addictive.
Yeah.
That's what the streamers have changed the way we're taking in content, because if you start Slow Horses tonight, you'll watch all 6, and then you'll be like, honey, we're watching all of these tomorrow.
Really?
It's so fucking good.
Ooh. Gary Oldman's awesome.
Gary Oldman.
He's the third best vampire movie. Is his Dracula.
Oh, his Dracula?
His Dracula was very good. It was very good.
Wait, are you a Dracula guy?
Love Dracula. Yeah.
Who you like more, Dracula or the werewolf?
Werewolves.
Werewolves?
They're the most fun. It's the most fun. Like, he's just some poor dude.
Yeah.
He's like, the moon changes. Like, fuck. Ah! And just waking up covered in blood. Like, what happened? Like, the idea of it is just so crazy. I always loved werewolf movies.
What happened to Benicio del Toro's werewolf
That was a good
movie?
one.
I never
It was
saw
good.
it.
It just petered out. There was some real great moments in it. We played it a bunch of times, but the one when they're in the theater, the medical theater, and he's trying to convince this guy that the guy's insane. He's like, "I'm here to show you that he will not turn into a wolf. He thinks he will." And so they have him strapped up. It's like, "Oh, I'm going to kill you all." And his body starts fucking. It's an amazing transformation scene. But Rick Baker did that film. The same guy that did American Werewolf in London. Yeah, it's the werewolf that we have in the lobby. That's the greatest werewolf movie of all time.
Yeah.
No question. Because it's John Landis. It's actually funny. There's funny moments in it. It's really fucking good. It's a good movie. They did a great job of only showing the wolf like a little bit, so you're really scared when you actually see it. They don't like get you numb to the thing being there. So this is the theater scene. He starts changing. So this is like they did a combination of CGI and makeup. So the thing about CGI is like right there, that's CGI. CGI, you kind of know it's CGI. There's the uncanny valley effect, right?
Yeah.
And so when he fully transforms in the scenes where he's attacking people, he's an actor. He's Benicio del Toro, but with all these prosthetics on. And it looks much more realistic, like the way it moves, the way it behaves. Like when he goes after these people, it seems... Well, go back up so you can see it rip the guy's heart out. Oh, he threw the dude through the window. His back up a little bit before that is when he tears the guy apart. Look at this.
It seems to be locked, sir.
Oh my God.
See, so when it's a dude in a costume with all the fur on it, the way it moves is just, they can't quite fix that.
In CGI?
It's not quite there.
Yeah.
It still gives you that thing where there's a suspension of disbelief. But when they use, makeup, like they did in American Werewolf in London, and like the transformation scene in American Werewolf in London, do you remember that one?
Oh, yeah.
The guy's in the bedroom,
Yeah.
or in the living room, and he just starts fucking, and his back pops up, and he stretches out and starts getting
And
covered
aren't
in
they
hair.
playing? Aren't they playing like CCR in that?
Yeah, I think it's Bad Moon.
Werewolf in London.
No, I think it's Bad Moon on the Rise. There's a bad moon on the rise.
God damn.
Yeah.
I could use a new werewolf. You know what they were doing?
They're doing it. The guy who did Nosferatu is going to do a werewolf movie now.
No shit. They were gonna do a series of all the horror movies, and it started with The Mummy with Tom Cruise. They had one set up for Johnny Depp.
But the Mummy with Tom Cruise is not the Mummy, the scary Mummy from like when we were kids.
Yeah, but they were all reimagined. Like
Yeah.
I took a meeting with that whatever that studio was, and because they always wanted a comedic actor in it. For the one that in The Mummy, it was Jake. Jake, God, he's such a great actor, and I'm fucking flaking on his name. He was in New Girl. Jake Johnson. Jake Johnson's funny as shit. He is a great actor, and he was the comedic relief in The Mummy, and they were going to do that with each of them. And so they had one set up for Johnny Depp. They had them set up for big stars. Everyone was getting their own.
Wasn't it Brandon Fraser originally?
He was in the original Mummy.
Original.
Yeah, and then it was The Rock,
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
and then it was Tom Cruise.
I love Brendan Fraser's revival. Isn't it amazing?
Dude.
Isn't it great when a guy comes back and not just comes back, but comes back and kills it in a movie and then like has this like heartfelt speech where he's like tearing up and crying and like everybody loves him again.
Yeah.
Like, that must have felt awful for that guy. He was this giant movie star. He was in all these giant films and then for whatever reason, he just kind of like faded away.
He got Me Too'd.
Is that what happened?
But by a dude. The dude tried to fucking touch him, and he stood up to the guy and was like, "Hey man, you go fuck yourself." The guy's like, "I'll ruin your career." If I'm obviously my memory is whatever the fuck it is, but yeah, that he came out and he said, "You know, I was blackballed because I fucking called a dude out."
Let's find out if that's true.
Yeah, find out if that's true.
We might have to edit that out.
Allegedly.
Allegedly is a great word.
But it's crazy. Those I saw something with Mickey Rourke.
No, I mean, he said it.
That's
Yeah.
what he said?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mickey Rourke said he hadn't worked for 13 years. And Mickey Rourke was the man. Pope of
dude.
Greenwich Village.
Oh, Angel Heart? Remember
Angel
that?
Heart, shut the fuck
Yeah,
up.
dude.
Didn't
Mickey
he
Rourke was a beast.
Didn't he do the one with the ice cube on the stomach, the Blue Dream or Blue?
Right, with Kim Basinger.
Where
what
he
was
like
that?
and it was like,
right,
like
like
the
super
ultimate sex scene.
movie.
And
Yeah,
it's like
what
they're-
was-
they what was it called?
Wild Orchid.
Wild Orchid.
Wild Orchid, I
yeah,
think.
that was a crazy movie.
But he said I saw an interview with him, and he said he hadn't worked in 13 years. He was down on his money. All
I
he had
saw
was
that.
his motorcycles and his clothes. He dressed himself up one night and took himself out for a bowl of spaghetti, and it's all the money he had. And fucking Sylvester Stallone walked by, and he was like, "Hey man, where you been?" He's like, "Just been out." And he was like, "You want to work in a movie?" He was like, "Yeah." And he goes, "That one movie paid 6 months of my rent, and it was his comeback."
yeah.
Mickey Rourke's always been a badass.
He was awesome.
I
man.
bought clothes because I saw what he was wearing on a Sunday. He had on the coolest fucking outfit. And it's so silly, but he had like Adidas track pants. This had to be like 2001. Adidas track pants with white Adidas shoes and a wife beater. And he was putting cases of Heineken in the back of a Cadillac DTS. And I was watching him from across the street. And I was like, I'm getting those pants. I'm getting those shoes. Puma shoes, Adidas pants, and a fucking wife beater. And I dressed like that, hoping someone would be like, dude, that's a badass outfit. No one ever said it to me.
You know what's a great... I would have said it.
Thank
bro.
you.
You know what's a great movie that people have slept on? They forgot about with him? Chinatown.
Wait, is he in Chinatown?
Now, what was it called? It wasn't... Chinatown was Jack Nicholson, but there was another... There was a Chinatown... God damn it. Year of the Dragon. Year of the Dragon.
Wait, what's Year of the Dragon?
That's what it was.
When I typed
That's what it was.
Which one's Year of the Dragon?
Year of the Dragon is... He's a cop. He's like a dirty cop in this Chinese mob film. It's really good, man. It's really good. What year is this?
85.
85. So I was in fucking high school, man. Wow. This is the year I graduated high school. It's a good movie, though, man. Real good movie. It might not hold up. Really hot Chinese lady falls in love with her. Oh, baby.
It's crazy when you see your heroes get older, you know? Like Harrison Ford, to see him now and be like, God, man.
He's great in that 1923 show, though. Have you been watching that?
Oh, is this Taylor's show?
Yeah.
No, I haven't seen it.
He's great.
Oh, this is, I just saw, yeah, we were talking
I
about
just
that at
watched
dinner.
episode 4 last night. He's great in that.
He's the man. You know, they said the rumor is they were going to cast Tom Selleck as Han Solo. Did you hear this?
Yeah, and he was a carpenter.
He was like, Mark Hamill told me this story.
Yeah.
And he
Did
was
he
like,
really?
yeah. He said they were having Harrison read with everyone. So, because he was like, great actor, but he was also a carpenter. And then like, you just read sides with people as they audition. So he read with Carrie, he read with Mark, he read with everyone. They were going to cast Tom Selleck. And at the last minute, they said, I don't know, man. Something about Tom Selleck isn't dangerous. There's something dangerous about Harrison Ford. And there is.
Really working.
Dude,
struggling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I just watched all 3 Raiders of the Lost Ark the other night. And he is fucking funny.
Oh, he's great.
Cool.
Do you know that scene where the guy pulls out the sword, starts swinging around, he just shoots him?
Yeah.
You know, he improvised that?
That's fucking amazing.
Amazing scene. He improvised it.
I remember watching it in the movie theater and going, Shaw!
Yeah. It's perfect.
God.
That's what you hope always happens. Get the fuck out of here with that sword. Boom.
God. And he was a hero with a tragic flaw, and that was snakes. That was his weakness. That was his Achilles heel.
Also, he was a professor that was like secretly dangerous. Secretly
Look
out
at
there
this
doing
outfit.
real archaeology. He had a whip. Here it is. There's a scene. They were supposed to have this whole choreographed thing with the sword and the whip. Perfect scene.
How many franchises is he the actor that's had the most franchises behind him?
No, it's got to be Tom Cruise, right?
Oh yeah. Well, you
Tom
think?
Cruise, well, he wasn't in the new Top Gun, was he?
Yeah, he was.
Oh, I didn't watch it.
You didn't watch it?
Oh, I did watch a little
Oh,
of it.
it's so good.
I turned it off
I
after
cried
a
at
while.
the end.
I turned it off after a while. What's that?
Sorry, I jumped the gun, but Harrison Ford is correct. Dan.
Oh, he is the most? So he's got Star Wars,
He's got Raiders of the Lost
Raiders of the
Ark,
Lost Ark.
Jack Ryan.
He's got 20 of them.
Oh, Jack
He's
Ryan.
got 20
What?
of them?
20?
Yeah.
What?
Wait,
It says franchise roles, so I don't know if it's like, he's
Oh, like
been
a
in
small
that many
role?
or if it's 20 different franchises.
Oh, okay. Well, starring in franchises, you got the two big
see what it
ones.
says.
Raiders of the Lost Ark, huge. Star Wars, the hugest of all time.
Can you imagine doing Star Wars and then doing Raiders of the Lost Ark and you'd be just being like, I guess I don't fuck up. I
Yeah.
guess I just hit dingers.
Well, I mean,
Can you imagine?
he obviously was very fortunate to get cast in those, but also he killed it, right? It's
Well,
like
apparently one of the coolest
that-
dudes to party with.
the scene with him and fucking the love tension between him and Carrie Fisher was amazing.
Okay, can I ask you something? As a first grade Bert to a fourth grade Joe Rogan, did you know that Darth Vader was his dad in the first episode?
No.
Okay, I didn't either.
I was
My
a little
fucking
kid.
cousins were like, "How did you not know that?" I mean,
Oh, your cousins are douchebags.
Yeah, well.
They didn't know either.
God.
They're bullshitting. They found out and they were like, "How did you not know?" They were those guys. You know, those guys who just read something and then barks it at you like, "How the fuck do you not know this, man? You don't know the fucking Federal Reserves. You don't know about the ice wall."
I think that if they had a game show called "You'd Be Shocked What Bert Doesn't Know," people would make a lot of money.
Oh yeah,
I don't know anything.
yeah, I know shit that doesn't help.
You know the
know a
most
lot of
interesting shit at a dinner party to talk about. Like, I don't know any of that shit.
Well, I definitely can do that. I can talk on the surface level about a lot of stuff.
Do you like when a person like Taylor? You were kind of between three conversations because you were talking to your wife, you were talking to David, but like me and Leanne were dead set talking to Taylor, and I love when a dude holds court like that.
That was a great table
When he
of
sat,
cool
the way
people.
he sat, where he's
Yeah.
like, "Let me tell you about."
Yeah.
I remember Leanne was like, "I had 400 head of cattle as a kid," and he goes, "Yeah, I got 14,000." And I was like, "Leanne, shut your mouth, let him talk." He did fucking Yellowstone, let him talk. Don't ever interrupt him.
He's a storyteller. He's a great storyteller. And he's a guy, you know, there's a ranch that I hunt at in California, and he was a cowboy on that ranch.
Yeah.
At one point in time, an actual cowboy. He actually worked and helped to fucking move cattle around.
Oh, and you know me, like, you know, if you tell a story, I get a similar story, I'll tell you my story after.
Yeah.
Buddy.
There's none of those with that guy.
you can't top any of his fucking stories.
But that's why his stories are so good. It's like lived experience.
Very
you know?
lived experience.
Yeah, and a real understanding. That's like his love for the cowboy culture is like completely legitimate.
It's why Yellowstone's so good.
Yes, you can fake it. People have faked it before, but when someone does it that really loves it, that's when it gets people excited and they move to Montana. They decide I want to live that life. It's like Avatar depression. I want to be on Pandora. It's like people, you know, you get sucked in by someone who's done an amazing job of telling a film or a story in a show, and that's what entertainment is really all about.
Yeah.
For me, I'm not looking for any fucking lessons about equity and inclusion, diversity. I already think that way. I already think that all human beings are the same. We're all just one thing, experiencing each other subjectively, as Bill Hicks said. I believe that. So I don't need that lesson. That lesson just makes me feel like you're preaching to me, and that shit's annoying. I don't like it. It's I already know these things. Stop. Well, we're doing it for other people. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. It just makes people more self-righteous, and they want to talk about it all the time.
I have a weird question. Do you think, because like I feel like, because I'm on Instagram a lot, like I might be switching to a flip phone.
Right.
But I'm not watching anything.
Right after you quit drinking, right?
No, my wife already bought the flip phone. She was like, dude, my daughters put parental controls on my Instagram.
Ah, it's hilarious.
I got it. Don't worry, I can get through them. But would you think that, like, I notice it seems like a lot of people now are almost living for Instagram. Like, hey, this is me and my 3 friends, and we're sailing around the world. And then, do you think people were doing that before Instagram?
No, I think definitely people are doing things so that they can show that they're doing things. But if you're actually doing things, like it's a balancing thing. Like if you're experiencing more stuff because you're documenting it for your YouTube channel, you're still experiencing more stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, you're putting it all out there, but if you're still experiencing more stuff, like that's probably net positive.
Yeah.
The problem is when you find yourself hanging out with your friends, but all you're doing is staring at your phone, and it's a real trap that we all get sucked into, especially if you got a good algorithm. It's just filled with stuff that pisses you off or freaks you out, which is mine.
Oh, I don't watch any. My shit's all people doing epic shit, and then
that's
I go,
good.
yeah, I followed these two dudes climb Everest. I followed them on Instagram, climb fucking Everest, and I was like, I want to climb Mount Kilimanjaro.
No.
Kilimanjaro is achievable.
No.
But I want to do epic shit. Like I got to a place when I started taking time off in July, and I was like, yo, I want a month. I want to sail to Hawaii. Like I want to see what it's like to be afraid. In the middle of the ocean.
Pull up how many people die in Mount Kilimanjaro.
Oh, nobody. Mount Kilimanjaro is easy.
Yeah,
it's a
people
light
died.
lift. It's a light lift.
People have died.
Mount Kilimanjaro is easy.
I guarantee you.
No, it's a long haul hike.
I bet people have died.
I bet it's under 10.
How many?
10 a year.
3 to 10 a year.
Oh, yeah. But watch how many
Buddy.
people die going to Everest.
Yeah, that's not good. No, if you play Russian roulette with 5 bullets, you get shot more.
Hang
I only
on.
play with 1.
How? Ask him. No, hold on.
That's just a stupid fucking thing to say. You know how many people definitely don't die on Mount Kilimanjaro that don't go to Mount Kilimanjaro? 100% of them.
100% of all of them.
100% of the people that don't go up that fucking stupid mountain. Just get a fucking Oculus and watch that shit. Just watch it. Watch it in your head. You can get videos of it. 340 people have died attempting to reach or return. What happened? Mount Everest. Since the records began, many bodies remain. Have you ever seen the bodies scattered, like the map of the bodies where they show
Yes.
where the known dead bodies on Mount Everest are?
Yes.
It's terrifying.
Do you want to know the craziest one?
Sure.
So the first dude to ever attempt the summit, I think his name was Mallory, right?
Yeah.
Edmund Hillary is the one
He's
who got
still
it.
there.
So they said they found his body, probably like 5 years after, 10 years after, and they said he had a broken leg, a fractured skull, and his pick, and that's how they could figure out it was him because his initials were in his pick. And they said he always carried a picture of his wife because he was going to put the picture of his wife on the top of Mount Everest, and it wasn't in his pocket. So they're like, was he in fact the first person to get there?
Oh, probably.
And then he left
died
it there and
coming
then
back.
died on the coming down.
Probably.
The other thing that I think is wild is Sir Edmund Hillary and Tenzing Norgay made a deal that they would reach the summit at the same time, because it was like, who gets to the summit first?
Right.
And I mean, when you think about it, especially with racism back then, Edmund Hillary was a Kiwi, and he must have been like, hey, brown guy, just carry the bags. I'm gonna get up there, and you come up, get a picture of me, and then we'll do one together, and then we'll head down. But they made a deal to go up together because they needed him that much.
Well, you definitely need those Sherpas can go all the way up there with no oxygen.
Those Sherpas will get locked on a ledge with a bunch of white people. The white people have to have helicopters come out and get them. A helicopter, I think, can only get to like 2,300 feet. 23,000 feet is like the safe zone. Mm-hmm. They'll come and get the white people out, and then the Sherpas are like, oh, we're going to walk down. We're good.
Yeah,
They'll hang out for like 7 days up there. And then I just heard a documentary about it, or saw a podcast. But those guys are so fucking good at it.
Also, they're so adapted to that climate. They
Yeah.
live up there. That the adaptation is a big part of it, right? Because it takes a long time to be able to adapt to that low of an altitude, or high of an altitude, rather.
Look what they're
at that guy
carrying
carrying
up.
that shit on his back. That is crazy. Bro, I walk around with a 45-pound plate and I complain.
Holy
That's so much shit. That guy must have legs of steel. How bad is his lower
I bet
back,
they all
though?
smoke.
I bet they smoke like a chimney.
Yeah.
Do they smoke? Do Sherpa smoke?
I just saw
Let's
a documentary on Netflix about the earthquake in. Look at him.
Smoking.
Eric Shipton.
Look at that guy. That's one of them early explorer type fellas. Click on that dude with the pipe. Yeah, look at that guy. Back in the day, man. No fucking internet. These guys had heard about it. They heard about it,
Yeah.
And we're going to go. They probably saw a photo that one person took, I mean, back then, how many fucking people had photos?
The guy who figured out the height in fucking 30 in turn of the century was a Indian guy or Nepalese. He figured out the height, and he was within 30 feet of being correct. Just from distance and doing math, he was in 30 feet after satellite images came in.
Look at this. Everest pioneers packed 15,000 cigarettes
Holy shit.
despite low oxygen.
I bet they thought it was good for their lungs.
Well, people used to think that it was like an exercise for your lungs.
They did that with Teddy Roosevelt. Teddy Roosevelt's dad. Teddy Roosevelt had asthma.
That's right.
And his dad would make him smoke cigars with him in his lounge. He's like, it'll strengthen your lungs.
Yeah, I saw something like that where a doctor, and it was like an old-timey movie. God, who was it? Who was it? I think it was Leonardo DiCaprio. Like, who did Leonardo DiCaprio play in a movie? He played some famous wealthy guy.
Howard Hughes.
That's right. And I think it was when Howard Hughes was young. He had bad lungs, and the doctor was prescribing cigarettes to him. God, I hope I'm not remembering this wrong. I may be. But I know that some doctors would recommend cigarettes to certain people that have certain lung issues.
Yeah.
Which is so crazy.
I was the exact
They were
opposite.
so bad.
Oh, dude.
How bad was going to the doctor back then?
Oh, they were just guessing.
I mean, not just guessing, but guessing so wrong.
I asked my dad about the polio vaccine, and I go, did they have to run it by your parents? He goes, parents? They just took us into the gym and stuck everyone. Yeah. I mean, they just were like, yo, we think this works.
What was there's a controversy yesterday when there was some sort of a hearing on whether or not they should ban sugar and candy from school lunches, or whether they should discourage sugar and candy. And it was something like the American Heart Association voted to not restrict the diets of kids. And everybody was like, what? What's going on? Like, let me get this right, because I was supposed to save this, and I was on the phone, and I didn't. See if you can find it, Jamie. But it was a conversation that was happening yesterday, and it was being shared on the internet where people are freaking out. Like,
And you're talking about school lunches, not like what your
I
parents.
don't remember correctly, unfortunately.
So there were restrictions,
I don't wanna
if I'm
fuck
not
this
mistaken, there were restrictions on what we could give our kids to school.
Really?
You couldn't just give them everything. You couldn't
just
pack,
give them
like,
candy?
Couldn't give them candy.
Yeah, here it is. Trump officials want to ban junk food from SNAP, but past efforts show it's not easy. No, that's not it.
It's the only thing coming up.
That's the only thing coming up?
Yeah, it has to do with this, but I don't know what's. I'm trying to figure
There
out.
was a video. Oh, God, I want to say it was.
Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program.
Yeah, that's. I think that's the push, but there was resistance to it that I thought was crazy. God damn it! I know I
Heart
saved it.
Association right here.
Is that it?
It's the same thing.
Okay,
Texas SNAP.
this is it. American Heart Association opposes the SNAP's sugary food drink regulations. That's what it is. American Heart Association opposes a Texas bill that would restrict using SNAP benefits to purchase sugary drinks and processed snacks. Critics question if corporate funding influences the American Health Association's policies. The AHA's opposition has sparked criticism over its history of receiving funding from major food companies like PepsiCo and Coca-Cola, raising concerns about conflicts of interest. An AHA spokesperson said their position on the Texas legislation was miscommunicated. They say the organization has long favored the USDA using its authority to increase the consumption of healthy foods and decrease consumption of sugary drinks. So they changed their opinion, probably based on controversy. Okay, I often say, look at this. During the hearing, lawmakers and public health advocates voiced their opinions. State Senator Lois Kolkhorst expressed shock over AHA's opposition during the hearing. I often say that I can never be surprised in this building, but for the American Heart Association to be against this bill, that might be the surprise of the session so far. It sounds weird that they would. I mean, it doesn't even make sense. That's obviously not good for you.
No.
Like, why would they encourage that or change it? Like, what would be their? I forget what their argument was.
Is it like a classist argument?
I don't know.
Is it? Because it seems like a classist thing. When you go to Whole Foods, it's different than going to Ralph's or Vaughn's.
So this is what it says. Puente testified the AHA was concerned about the bill's potential impact on SNAP participation. He also emphasized the importance of educating the public about healthy eating instead of restricting purchases. See, but that seems weird. Like, what better way to encourage healthy eating than to say, you're not going to starve. You can get food.
Yeah.
But you can't buy shit. You can go buy hamburgers.
But where does this line draw the line? I'm just thinking like the other day I was in traffic and I thought I can't believe they still let people ride motorcycles because people die all the time and they cut
They die in
lanes.
cars too, though.
Yeah, but in motorcycles, like I'm getting one and my wife's like, "That's
You
how
are
you're
getting one?
Oh yeah, fuck yeah.
Why are you doing that?
Because
You just
Harley
said-
reached out.
Oh, don't.
And they were like, "Come on, buddy,
Not
you
in
wanna,
California,
dude,
buddy.
just for late night."
Drive out here.
Late night.
Late nights when the crackheads are out.
I'll tell you what, I'll leave it here if I can leave it at your studio.
Yeah, leave it
and then
here.
this will be my Austin bike.
Oh,
I'm
you're
coming
gonna
to
have another
Austin.
bike.
I'm coming
an
to
Austin bike and a fucking this motherfucker. Yeah, you can park.
I'm coming
here.
out to Austin for like two weeks in June.
Nice.
Get ready for my tour.
Your kids have left the nest.
My
It's time
dude.
to bail, my brother.
Buddy, I'm living with one person every day, all fucking day.
Wild.
I know. We do everything together.
Come over here. Come here. You don't need to be in that bullshit state. There's no need for that anymore.
The
Bert
mothership's
Kreischer.
just such a
Sell
great-
your fucking house.
such
Let's
a great
go.
place to do stand up. It's such a great vibe right there.
It's a
right
great
now.
place to hang.
No, dude,
fun.
I went over there after our party by South by, and just got fucking lit with Tony, Shane.
It's a fun place, man. It's
Called
fun.
it early. But I told Leanne, I said, I'm gonna do like a week in Oxnard. I was gonna do a little run on my tour bus. And I said, I think I'm gonna take my tour bus to Austin. Just stay here for like a week, 2 weeks.
It's a good place to fuck around and do new stuff, too.
It
Especially
is.
in the little room. That little room is just, oh.
I can't tell you how valuable it is to have phones in yonder pouches.
Comedy Store's doing that now. Yeah, Peter Shore told me.
Really?
Yeah, I was so.
Not 2
I'm
weeks
like,
ago.
That is amazing. Really?
I don't think so.
This was 2 weeks ago.
Maybe it was longer. I don't know. Last time I was there, I said some wild shit.
Oh no!
Yeah.
Did he get out?
I don't know.
You can't practice.
You can't
You
fucking
gotta be
say.
able to practice.
And it's the
part
snitches.
of practicing.
It's the snitches that want you to say. It's almost like it's the fucking cunts that you.
They can't help it because you can get so many likes.
Yeah,
Like,
and I'm like,
if
bitch, you
have a-
want this comedy,
Right, but if you put something, if you say something wild on stage and it's funny and they laugh, you could take that and put it on your Instagram and you get 2 million views, and that's just too tempting for people.
Oh.
We bust people with those Meta glasses. Yeah, they try to come in with their fucking Ray-Bans on and film things. Those Meta glasses are amazing. My friend Jimmy, who works for the UFC, had them on the other day. Upon arrival at the venue, all phones secured in yonder bags.
Is this the store?
Yes, Comedy Store.
December 10th.
Yep, 2024.
Oh wow.
Nice.
Oh, I guess.
So you just forgot. Or maybe it was a comic who had his phone out. Some
Maybe.
comic threw you down the river.
fucking.
That happens.
Oh.
There's a lot of cunty comics, especially
There's
like
a lot of cunty comics. I'm starting to think that's all they got.
no.
Buddy, do you ever? Hey Joe, do you ever? This is what makes me crazy.
What makes you crazy, Bert Kreischer?
Do you ever be friends with someone and then all of a sudden realize you've been competing the whole time, but you didn't know you were in a competition?
Yeah, that's unfortunate. That's unfortunate. Inspired by is a better way to look at life. Competing is just not good
I've
for
never
you.
once competed with another comic. I've been inspired by so many fucking comics.
That's good. You have a healthy mindset. But I think our whole group has a healthy mindset. you
I
know?
think so.
Yeah, we don't have any cunts. We don't have any jealous, bitter cunts in the group of people that we're hanging with.
I mean,
That's so important.
I hung with Chappelle one night, and he just called. I was in Dayton. He was like, "Yo, why don't you come out? We'll party." And I was like, "Cool." And then we went out and partied. And I kind of forget what a fan I am of his, of like how great he is. I mean, his kicker in the pussy joke might be one of my favorite jokes ever that's ever been written. It's so fucking dope.
Oh, he's a great comic, but he's a great human.
He's a great human.
He's a fun hang. Like, he's a genuine sweetheart of a guy.
I was with him right before I shot the special, and I said to him, and we're fucking lit, right? And I go, "Yo, Dave, I don't want to talk shop. I just want to hang, but I got to say, you're the greatest to ever do it. I'm getting ready to shoot my special. I just would love a little bit of your insight of what you think, like how you prepare for one." Chappelle lights a cigarette, and he's like, "All right, how many shows?" I said, 6. He goes, "Perfect." He goes, and then he breaks down. I'm not going to do it because it's Dave's secret. It's Dave's thing. He shared. I don't want to. But he broke down how he does a special. To me and him sitting in a fucking in a barn in the middle of a field in fucking 3 a.m. with IVs in our arms, and I was like, dude, I gave him a hug. I was like, he's the fucking greatest. Him and Cat Williams, 2 of the baddest motherfuckers and the sweetest guys. But I was like, that energy, like I want Chappelle's special to be fucking amazing when it comes out. Like
It will be. They're
everyone's
all
telling me how
gonna-
great Schultz's special is. I can't wait to fucking watch it.
Yeah,
Like,
but you have a
that's-
good attitude. That's a good attitude. That's how you're supposed to think.
That's how I think. But
It's not. It's the other way is not good for you.
let me see that.
Think about it. Is the other way is? You want another one? You want a new one?
Yeah, I'll take a new one.
The other way is bad for you as a human.
Yeah.
It's not healthy to think that way. It doesn't do you any good. It only serves you to get fucked up. It only serves your ego and your bullshit. You get the clippers
Yeah.
in the back. There you go.
Ego, man.
It's just not good for you. It doesn't help you. It only hurts you. It doesn't hurt the person that you're jealous of, and it hurts you. It's not necessary. You could just be inspired, and you could say, "Oh, if this fucking mutt can make it," you can say that. I can do it too. But don't be jealous. If you don't like someone and they're becoming very successful, maybe think why you react so strongly. Because a lot of times it's unfortunately jealousy. Like, there's comics that I don't think they're very good. They don't make me laugh, but I don't care. I don't get mad at them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I don't get upset at them. I'll be friends with them. I'll like them. There's comics that I had to learn how to do that, because it used to be like, if guys weren't funny, I just couldn't deal with them, couldn't hang out with them. I'm friends with a few people that suck, but they're nice people. You could separate that. But I'm also friends with some people that are mind-blowing, and there's such a value in that. When you're around people that are like really good at what they do, when you're around Dave, and Schultz is my favorite for going to a place and then talking shit about the place in such a brilliant way.
I think Schultz is fucking brilliant.
He's so good.
Dude, the whole shit with Kendrick Lamar, I was getting in the shower, reading it, texting him. I'm sitting outside the shower texting him my favorite lines. The only thing he has to do is decide if it's consensual.
That was crazy.
But I get inspired by motherfuckers like that.
He's a funny dude, man. And the thing he did you ever see the thing he did about Hawaii?
No.
Oh my God, it's so funny. He's in Hawaii. He starts to set up. He goes, "I've never seen chickens more confident." He does this whole bit about chickens in Hawaii, like just wandered. It's such a funny bit. So if you've been to Hawaii, there's chickens all over the fucking place. It's kind of crazy.
Do you know who else does that? Tommy.
Oh yeah,
Tommy shits on a place so aggressively, and they love it.
Yeah.
Like, he did Dublin one year. Same we both did it, and he goes, "Is it fun?" I said, "I had the best time of my life." He goes up, and it's the day the king gets coronated, and he goes out, first words, he's like, "Fuck your king." And the place starts going, "Ole, ole, ole, ole." Tommy didn't know if they were going to stop singing. We did a show in Hawaii,
hilarious.
and he goes at Pearl Harbor, and they're like, all right, Tommy opens the show. He goes, they're like, first rule, don't make fun of the Hawaiians. Second rule, do not bring up Pearl Harbor. First and second joke. First joke, man, they say island life's slow. I didn't know they were talking about your metabolism. Man, you guys are fat as fuck. I was taking a walk. I don't want to be as fat as you guys. I got lost on the base. Lucky there are a couple Japanese guys that are pretty familiar with how this base operates. Me and Russell Peters are crying, laughing. The Admiral's losing his mind. God damn it. What did I fucking tell him?
That's hilarious when they think they can tell you what not to talk about.
I have an offer to do Dubai.
Don't.
Thank
You're
you.
going to fuck up. You're going to say something stupid.
That's what-
And they're going
yeah.
to put you in jail.
Thank you.
Yeah, they arrest people over there.
I know.
You can't play games in Dubai. Did you see that one lady who went crazy at the airport?
No.
Yeah, she got a little rowdy
Yeah.
at the airport and started yelling at people. And they're like, "That's a wrap. You're going to jail."
Dude.
They don't fuck around over there, man. I have a friend who moved there, my friend Will, and he's a documentary filmmaker, and he said, like, it's so safe over here. He goes, that's what I love about it. He goes, when I was in America, it's like, you go out at night, you're at a club, you're always worried someone's going to pull a gun out, something's going to happen. He goes, there's nothing.
Yeah.
No crime.
But there's it's like Singapore, there's crazy rules.
Right, but
And if you don't know all the rules.
It's the real good question. Would you rather have a little bit of danger and very little rules, or would you rather have no danger and a lot of rules?
I want a little danger and a little rule.
I agree. Yeah, I don't want to live in a place where they restrict what you could say and what you do. And
It's not even that. They said to me in the contract, we signed up to I do a tour starting in October, Permission to Party. Permission to Party is the name of the fucking tour. Permission to Party. And they go, what about Dubai? I go, I don't think they're going to give me permission. I think they're going to deny. The first thing was you have to wear a shirt on stage, and I was like,
Yeah, that's a wrap.
I go, hey man,
That's crazy.
It's kind of my thing. Like,
Yeah,
like
that's
I'm
crazy.
comfortable shirtless. That's how I perform.
That's so crazy.
It's
You
like-
can't wear no shirt. Oh, okay. You guys have crazy rules. Those rules don't make sense.
Yeah,
Like, what about Cirque du Soleil? They wear shirts? They do.
I don't know.
They do. I'm making that up. Like, what about MMA? How come they have MMA over there?
How can they have MMA?
That's what I'm saying. Are they performing with no shirts on?
Yeah.
You gonna make guys wear fucking wetsuits? What are you gonna? What are you? What are they gonna wear?
Now, by the way, that's the same argument I said as I got kicked out of a Buffalo Wild Wings with my shirt off, and they're like, "Put your shirt on." I go, "The guys on MMA aren't wearing fucking shirts."
Yeah, that's
It's
different.
a little different.
That's different. They're doing it in a sport. But the point is, like, if you're performing, that's part of your performance. It's like, you know how there's rules in LA, like if you performed on stage, you're allowed to smoke cigarettes? Because
Yeah.
it's a part of your performance. So, like, Chappelle was always lighting up even after the rules. And everybody's like, hey, how come he can smoke? Because it was like in the 90s that they passed the laws where you're not allowed to smoke in comedy clubs anymore. Do you remember that?
Yeah, it was. If it was part of your act, you could smoke. That's how Ron White smoked cigars on stage.
Right, but there was a law before that. You were allowed to smoke in bars.
I remember doing stand up when you could smoke at the Boston
Yeah.
Comedy Club. And buddy, do you remember the Laugh Stop in Houston?
Oh, yeah.
That place, there were so many cigarettes, you
Oh,
would
yeah.
come out with a cough.
Yeah, it was the air was filled with smoke.
Your
People just
jeans would
smoked.
smell.
Oh yeah, you always smelled. I always come home from a club back in the 90s, and I'd smell my clothes. They all always smell like cigarettes. But you got used to like the smoky room. It was like part of the thing about a comedy club is like when people smoke cigarettes, they're doing something really stupid.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And like doing something really stupid, say fuck it. There's so much fuck it in a cigarette, and there's fuck it in a drink, and there's fuck it in this guy talking shit on stage. He sucked his own dick. It like led to the atmosphere. It's
But
like
do
I
you
loved it
remember-
in pool halls too. I loved being around the smokers, even if I didn't want to have anything to do with it.
Do you remember the comics that would smoke on stage and then they go and do the Tonight Show and they didn't know what to do with their right hand?
Oh yeah, there was that,
Yeah.
right? Well, back in the Tonight Show, the early days, I was watching Jackie Gleason on the Tonight Show. And it was the only time I think he was ever on the Tonight Show, which is kind of crazy. But they were he sat there, immediately lights a cigarette. By the way, he was dead 2 years later. Yeah. He died of cancer in 87. Google that.
Johnny Carson had a little cigarette box.
Yeah, so this is
That's his,
Jackie
those are his
Gleason.
cigarettes right there in
Yeah,
his little
look.
cigarette box.
Immediately when he sits down. Well, Carson
How
also
fucking
died.
great does that feel?
Carson
Just-
also died of cancer.
Yeah.
Look at that, just sitting there. How sweet it is.
Sweet it is.
That's what he said right there.
He did.
Makes him say it.
He did Smokey and the Bandit, and they offered him points on the movie, and he said, "I'll take cash."
Whoops.
I know.
Damn.
I saw the sexiest thing in Palm Springs the other day. White
Was
Cadillac.
it that lady playing golf?
No, white Cadillac. 75-year-old woman, hair done, little coif, windows up, white big Cadillac. She puts a 100 cigarette, windows up, and lights it in her car. Just windows up, and I went fucking old school.
Wow.
I don't know. When was the last time you saw someone smoke a cigarette in the car
I
with
bet
their
that
windows
lady's
up?
never been vaccinated. She's never going to get cancer.
She's never dying. She's never fucking dying.
She's got them old school pioneer genes.
Did you ever hear the story about Johnny Carson almost got killed by the guy in the mob?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. What was that about?
It was
Did you make a mob joke or something?
no. Frank Sinatra had to negotiate
Yeah.
his safety.
What was it
because
about?
Johnny Carson was at a bar drunk, and the mobster's girl was there, and the mobster was in the back, and Johnny Carson hit on the mobster's girl and like smacked her ass or lifted her skirt up,
Oh, no.
and they were like, "We're gonna kill him," and they went out and he hid, and then he went out and they're like, "No, we have a hit on him. He's gonna die," and Frank Sinatra had to negotiate it.
Whoa.
Someone just told. You know who told it to me? God damn it.
Who?
Oh, son of a bitch. Not Fletcher. Comedy Store comic, white hair, did the Tonight Show 120 times. You know him.
Argus?
Argus. I think it was Argus told me
Hamilton?
that story.
That
yeah.
makes sense. Yeah, Argus, old school.
Yeah.
Argus is a funny dude, man.
Argus is fucking great, man.
He's like very underrated. Unidentified wise guy and his goons picked Carson up off his bar stool and threw him down a flight of stairs. before famed saloon owner Jilly Rizzo, whose regulars included Sinatra, Dean Martin, and Judy Garland, interceded and prevented a more serious beatdown. But the mob big wasn't satisfied and put out a contract to have Carson whacked. Terrified Carson wisely holed up in his UN Plaza palace for 3 days, missing 3 shows, according to the book. The vengeful mobsters only backed off after one of Carson's contacts at the William Morris Agency cut a deal with crime boss Joseph Colombo. Holy shit.
What? Oh, the American Civil Rights League. Oh, yeah.
The mob boss had recently formed the Italian American Civil Rights League to persuade America that the people of Italian descent were being unfairly stereotyped as mafiosi. That's hilarious. The group is planning for a big rally, and Colombo is deeply, deeply disappointed that so far all of the networks have refused to cover the rally. Soon an accommodation was reached. NBC News covered the rally, and Johnny could leave the apartment. Wow.
Yeah.
As for Colombo, he was gunned down in 1971 at the second annual Italian Unity Day rally in Columbus Circle. He was left almost totally paralyzed and died in 1978. Shit. Holy shit. That was the last of the rallies. So he developed. I know there's a way around this. No one's paying attention to Italian American Civil Liberties rally.
They're making us look like thugs, like we're going to shoot each other at a rally.
Bro.
God damn.
Those were scary days, man. Those are scary, scary days. But that was always a story about the store, because the store used to be Ciro's nightclub. So Bugsy Siegel owned Ciro's. Did you know that?
I knew that. I didn't know that Bugsy Siegel owned it.
Yes. It was Bugsy Siegel owned Ciro's nightclub. And that place was scary, apparently. That's why all those people see ghosts in that spot.
Bad shit happened there.
100%. 100%.
Bad
You got a
shit.
mob-owned nightclub, people are getting shot. I mean, people got shot at the Comedy Store when we were there. A guy got murdered on the fucking front patio. It was a gang hit.
During like Mo Better Mondays or something.
Rose was there when it happened. Rose saw the guy die.
Oh, shit.
Mm-hmm.
That's.
That place has always attracted crazy people. That place is always. I think there's an energy to that place, probably because of the gang history, that just made it like extra wild and dangerous. It just always felt like anything can happen in that place. I think there's like baked in memories. Like there's photos of like Dean Martin and Jerry Lewis on stage there. That place was like, that was the spot. Like that was the spot in LA, and the mob would all be there, and they'd fucking do deals and whack people and take people down the basement and fucking kill them.
That's out of all the scariness in movies, the scariest part of any movie is when those mob movies where they say to the guy, hey, Johnny wants to talk to you tonight. And the guy's like, tell Johnny I'll call him tomorrow. He's like, no, he said to get in the car now. And the guy goes, well, I'll take my car. And he goes, no, you're going to get in the car with us. And you know.
That guy's going to die. He's going to die.
Looks at his friend, takes off his ring.
Yeah.
Gives it to him. And I don't know. I'm such a bitch that if in those moments I'd be like, no, I don't want to go. And just start running. Or like when you see in the war movies, like when you see, like in, what was the one, 1917? When they tell those two kids they got to run and go tell the front line what to do.
Oh, yeah.
Is that 1917?
I don't know.
If it's not, it's all part of the Western Front.
Like my grandfather stormed the beaches of Normandy.
Really?
Yeah. And
Did you ever talk to him about it?
No, he died way before I was born.
Holy shit.
He was one of those PTSD Levittown guys.
Oh.
Moved to Levittown, and my dad said he just would sit in the garage, drink beers, and listen to Met games, and just wash his car.
Oh
my dad said he never heard his dad ever mention the war, and if the war was brought up, his dad would walk out of the room.
Oh, Jesus
but he stormed the beaches in Normandy, and I don't know. I don't know if I have the thing in me to get off the boat. I think I'm a bitch. I think I'd be like, I'd lock down. I'd be like, I'm not getting off. Like when you look at like guys like Jocko,
I think you had to get off that boat, buddy. I don't think you had a choice. And I think when your friends are running off that boat, you run off that boat too, and guys are getting gunned down. You just hope it's not you, and you're probably just shitting your pants.
Shitting my pants.
And that one day, like how many thousands of people died? Thousands and thousands of people died. Just bullets and guns going off everywhere. Like that fucking movie, the
Saving Private Ryan.
Yes, Spielberg nailed that movie.
Yeah.
That opening scene was so fucking horrific. that you'd never seen a scene like that in a war movie that accurately depicts people getting torn apart right in front of you.
My dad found his dad's diary from the war, and he photocopied it and sent me the photocopy. My dad has the diary. And it's funny because, you know, my memory is like jaded to how I find things interesting. So sometimes it's not 100% accurate. But if in there was a memory of like, they took one of these like Q boats, I think, or K boats across the fucking Atlantic over to England, barely had time to get off the boat, stayed in England for a second. I want to say they stayed on the boat the whole time, and then took that same boat over to, or they probably took different boats, but took a boat over to Normandy. And my grandfather's entry is something to the effect of, we're storming this beach today. Like I don't think he knew the levity of, or the seriousness of what was happening. I think they were like he just very casually mentioned it.
Oh God.
And the only other thing I remember out of reading that diary was that he would get water in his helmet. It was so cold, he'd get water in his helmet to shave. And by the time he went to shave, he had to break it would freeze over with ice. And he had to break it with his razor. But to think that I mean, just the amount of trauma that those guys went through, and no one really cared about it. They were like, just have a fucking shot of scotch.
And that was the second time the world had gone to war. The world had gone to war just a couple of decades earlier.
Dude, can I tell you what fucking makes me stop for a second? When we were in Serbia, they have statues of Gavrilo Princip everywhere. He's the guy that shot Franz Ferdinand, the Archduke.
Oh, yeah.
They have statues of him everywhere. He's a fucking national hero in Serbia because he technically created Yugoslavia. I mean, people they wear shirts of Gavrilo Princip.
Wow.
They have wallets. So this guy, movie producer,
World War I.
He changed the world forever. That one man is responsible for millions of deaths and so much suffering.
Isn't that
one man.
Crazy, and they have statues of this dude.
Statues everywhere, dude. I got obsessed with it because I was like, I can't believe you guys we consider that a terrorist in our country.
Oh my God!
And this one guy gave me a.
That's so crazy.
They gave me a.
Look at that writing. How cool is their writing? Go back to that. Look at the fucking writing at the bottom. Look how cool that is.
Gavrilo Princip.
Can you read that?
Yeah,
Really?
I think it's Russian. It's acrylic or whatever it is, Cyrillic.
You can read that?
Yeah.
For real? You can read Russian?
Yeah. I never told you the time I went to Russia.
You did, but I didn't know you could learn. I didn't know you learned how to read it. I thought it was really hard to read.
I just met this DJ, very big DJ Zed. If I played you any of his songs, you've heard every one of them, right?
Okay.
And we met him I was with Santino. We were at a tennis tournament, and I said, "Wait, where's your accent from?" And he goes, "Oh, I'm Russian." I said, "Где?" And he goes, "Ты говоришь по-русски язык?" I was like, "Конечно." And we started talking in Russian back and forth.
How long did it take you to learn that?
Oh, as long as I was there. I got pretty good towards the end.
How long were you there for?
Like a month and a half, 3 months.
That's it?
Yeah.
That's incredible.
2 months,
Do you have
maybe?
a hidden skill?
No,
a hidden ability to like learn languages?
No, I know. I can speak Spanish. I just told you the same Uber drivers picked me up 6 times in this town and he doesn't speak English.
How'd you learn how to speak Spanish?
I'm just growing up in Florida.
Really?
Yeah.
You might have like a secret language ability.
No. Anyone that
No,
just
that's
heard me
pretty
talk in
extraordinary.
Russian just knows that I barely can. I don't even sound good.
Yeah, but you could. I took Italian in college. I can't fucking speak Italian.
Yeah.
I took Spanish in high school. I can't speak Spanish.
No. I can understand Russian a lot better than I can speak it.
Yeah, you might have like a hidden ability to learn languages.
And I can understand Spanish a lot better than I can speak it. But like I was just in Spain. I was just in Spain a week ago. And apparently my Spanish, it sounds like, me need ice. Me ice.
At least you could say something.
Yeah.
You can communicate. Something's popping off in Serbia right now. Like one of the largest protests ever is happening in Serbia right now.
For real?
300,000+ people in the streets.
It's a complicated country. And I love Serbia. I
don't know what's going on. I have no idea what this protest is about. I just saw it in the news feed, popped up. Record-sized protest in Serbia.
Deaths over 15 people dying in a railway station collapse.
So what are they?
It's hundreds of thousands of people descended on Serbia's capital to protest over the deaths. Well, I'm not sure.
Huh. So was it like some corruption or something? Like some shitty construction? Like what happened?
We just want a country that works, law student says.
Wow. So hundreds of thousands of people in the streets because of station collapsed?
That's what it says on BBC. I'm looking to see if it makes
Interesting.
more insight.
They don't take any shit over there.
Dude.
Figure it out, bitch.
We'll
get in the street.
It's fascinating. Listen, I understand if you're Serbian and you're listening, you may disagree with what I'm about to say. I'm just going to say it. They fucking hate Albanians.
Oh, no.
They make Albanian jokes like crazy, right?
Really?
So one day we're on the set, and I said to one of the guys, I go, hey, man, like, I'm not like a woke dude. Man, it's just a funny joke. But, like, what if there's an Albanian here that, like, heard that and hurt their feelings? And he goes, oh, he'd know to be smart enough to keep his fucking mouth shut. And I went, all right, never mind. The only Albanian they like is Dua Lipa. They love Dua Lipa. I know I'm generalizing, and I know there's Serbians that are like, we don't hate them all, but they all know how to play basketball. They're all tough as fucking shit. Every dude's a fucking man. You don't meet one dude that you don't think is a cage fighter.
Bro, these war-torn countries are not playing games.
Bro.
They breed different humans. And that's when those guys come over to the UFC, like they're different humans.
They had a, and now mind you, I got to guess the Serbians that I was hanging out with, and one of them was my driver. But like they had a chant for their president, for the when their president, they would chant out the other guy, and it was like, "He's Vinici, he's a faggot. He's Vinici."
Jesus
it was like
Christ.
Such a fucking. I don't know, man. There's something really interesting about that freedom that they had there, that they just talked openly. And like they'd take a cigarette break, and like the girls would sit down and cuddle up next to a dude that they weren't dating. They just touchy like that. Like they don't have like, there's no like intimacy counselor on set. They were just. I remember watching one of the girls sit and have a cigarette with one of the dudes, and they were like just cuddling against the wall, and I was like, are they dating? And they're like, no, they're just friends. Look at that shit. That's Serbian basketball, baby.
Bro, that's war. That's war. How long before these guys take over basketball?
Oh, buddy.
Half.
Give them another year.
They kind of have.
They're taking over MMA. They're taking over boxing.
Luka Doncic and Jokic.
Dude,
and
everyone plays basketball. The girls play basketball there.
Jesus Christ.
No one jogs. I was the only one jogging every morning. Every morning I jogged by myself.
They're fucking farmers carrying weights around.
Those men are beasts. I'd go to the mall. It was like the nicest place to go.
Bro, that is the most terrifying basketball game I've ever seen in my life. If I was, imagine showing an American basketball crowd what they do in Serbia, you'd be like, oh no, they're coming.
Wouldn't it be great to watch a Serbian team play like one of those inner city teams?
Look at this. Give me some volume.
Look at that. Look at that.
Holy shit. That's like fight night intensity.
That's Texas fucking high school football.
Right.
We used to play a black team growing up, guys like Booker T. Washington, and they would come in, we'd play basketball, and the visiting stands would be packed. I can't remember the exact name of the team, but they'd be packed, and their thing was boom, we thump, boom, boom, we thump, and the whole fucking crowd, and we were like just a bunch of white kids. We had no chance. We had no chance. I've got spirit. Yes, I do. I've got spirit. How about you? And they'd be like, suck our dicks. But that energy, that high school black inner city energy with some HBCU cheerleaders. You ever seen the HBCU cheerleaders?
Yes, I have.
They're my fucking favorite. Versus a Serbian, just fucking no deodorant. Just, God, man, I miss Serbia.
When those folks start entering into other sports, when people from like hard environments start entering sport, like the scariest guy in the UFC, or one of the scariest, is from Chechnya.
Chechnya.
Yeah.
That's war torn.
Dude, this guy is a fucking Hamzat Chimaev. He is a fucking animal. Have you ever seen that guy fight?
No.
Hamzat Chimaev. Pull up Hamzat Chimaev versus Kevin Holland. So Hamzat Chimaev is the #1 contender in the UFC's middleweight division. He's a fucking monster. And he's so aggressive, like relentlessly aggressive. He's known to get in fights like backstage and just an animal. And like in post-fight interviews, he's like, I fucking killed them all. I killed them all.
Wait, did I just watch him drop weight today?
Oh, you might have.
Where
He
they
used to
shaved
fight
his head? They shaved his head to drop weight?
No, I don't think so. Maybe. I don't think so. But he just go from the beginning, because this is the beginning of the fight. Watch how he storms at him.
Wow.
Bro. The amount of fucking grappling power you have to ragdoll Kevin Holland like this is insane. Kevin Holland is a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt under Travis Lutter. I mean, he's a legit grappler. That's why he's surviving and he scrambles, is because he's a legit black belt.
What's he saying to him?
They're talking shit. Kevin likes to talk shit.
Where's a lip reader when you need one?
I think Kevin's probably like, come on, man, I thought we were going to stand up. Why don't we fight? Why don't we fight in the feet? He's probably trying to goad him into doing something stupid.
Yeah.
Kevin talks shit while you're hitting him. I mean, this is crazy grappling ability. The way he rotates with him. And here it is. Here's the Darce. So he sinks up the choke and slides through. Watch his right hand. His right hand's going to reach forward and grab a hold of his bicep. Watch how this is when he see it slides down.
Yeah.
When the right hand, right now it's still open, but when now it clamps. Now it's on the bicep.
Oh,
See?
wow. Yeah.
That's the choke. The choke's fully locked in now, and Kevin's fucked.
God damn.
He's totally fucked, and he's going to have to tap, and he eventually taps. But, I mean, to tap a guy like Kevin Holland, and not just tap him, but just he has no chance at any moment in the fight. It's just total grappling dominance.
Look at that.
He's a monster. Just a fucking monster. And, like, the most aggressive guy in the fucking sport. Like, right away charges, and this is it. This is the end. Once he taps it.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. Once he gets that leg over the top of the body, so he isolates the body and constricts deeper into the choke, he's done.
Dude, I got choked.
Unbelievable.
I got choked out by my daughter Isla.
Oh, no.
Yeah, we were on vacation.
Were you trying not to get choked out?
No, she's
You let her do
she's
it?
a girl, so I thought she's talking shit. Eddie Bravo's got her private jujitsu lessons, so she's been taking
no.
jujitsu in our fucking gym. And she's dyslexic, so she can never tell you the right move she's about to do. And we're on vacation, and she goes, it'll be easy. You gotta slow down there, big guy. I'll choke you out. And I was like, oh, you're gonna choke me out? She goes, it's easier to choke out big guys. And I went, really? She goes, I find it easier. And I was like, okay. I was like, try to choke me out, Joe. This little needle arm went around my neck, and I swear to God, what is she, like 15 at the time? I just went, I tapped. She was like, yeah, that's what I thought. I was like, my daughter.
That's what I thought, she said.
That's what I
Talk
thought.
Shit.
Dude.
Disrespect.
She did. She met Eddie Bravo. She met Eddie Bravo at our house one night. And, Eddie, me, Sam Tripoli. Eddie and I are lit, right? And we're in the kitchen. We've just done like a podcast. And Isla comes in. She's like, who's this guy? And I go, this is Eddie Bravo. She goes, okay. And I was like, he teaches jujitsu. She goes, I want to learn jujitsu. And Eddie goes, really? And she goes, yeah, a little bit of that. Hi-ya! And Eddie goes, that's not jujitsu. She goes, whatever it is, I want to learn it. So he goes, all right, I'll set you up. And he got her this lady that came over to the house like 3 times a week.
Oh, wow. That's
got
amazing.
Mats in the back, and Isla loved it. I loved it. Except she'd turn the Nest cam around so we couldn't watch her jujitsu lessons.
Oh, that's funny.
She was like, I don't want to watch you. I don't want you to watch what I do. I just want to. I want to learn it.
That's cool.
Yeah, it was really cool.
It's a very good thing for women to learn because jiu-jitsu allows you to defend yourself in a way that very few martial arts really do. Because you don't have to rely on the size of your hands hitting people and kicking people. It's too hard. It's too hard to knock out a man. Like if you have small hands, if you're a woman, it's just like you can't generate enough force for the most part, unless you're like a unusually strong woman. Some women there's a few. Like Holly Holm. Like, you don't want Holly Holm punching you in the face. Amanda Nunes will knock you out cold, 100%, even if you're a dude. But most women, they just don't have the power in their hands. But everyone has the power to carry your body around, right? So your legs are really strong. If a woman gets her fucking legs locked around your neck and gets a triangle on you, you're fucked.
Dude.
If she knows how to do jiu-jitsu, like your legs are carrying, if you weigh 130 pounds and you're a woman, your legs are carrying 130 pounds all day long, and they don't get tired. And they're strong.
Yeah.
So all you have to do is like, whoop, whoop, lock that bitch in behind the knee, crack, and pull on the head, and you're going to sleep.
Dude,
You're going to sleep,
she could have put me to sleep.
I bet she could have.
I've been fucking humiliating.
There was a show that they used to have on Showtime with this dude who was he was a porn star and he had a show on Showtime, and he had like a reality show. And in one of the episodes, he was going to do jujitsu with a woman. And so my friend Felicia O, who's a black belt under Jean-Jacques Machado, she's a legit beast. And, you know, she weighs 130 pounds, maybe 135, maybe. Yep. And she choked the fuck out of this dude, like multiple times. I don't even think she was a black belt at the time. She was probably a brown belt. Maybe she was a black belt already? She was a black belt before me. But I used to train with her all the time. She's really, really good. And a dude who didn't know what he's doing, he's going night-night.
It's amazing how many dudes don't know what they're doing.
Most people don't.
Most people.
It's too hard to learn. And you got to get humiliated when you do learn. You know, you get fucking humiliated. It's a brutal wake-up call when you get strangled. Like, and how easy it is for people to do it to you.
You're so vulnerable when you're unconscious.
Oh, well, you're just so vulnerable when you do jiu-jitsu against someone who's good at it. I remember the first time I realized I was a white belt and I had rolled with this kid who was a purple belt, and he was my size, and he just mauled me. And I remember thinking, this is crazy. Like, I can't believe I'm totally helpless. Like, I thought I had this delusional idea, like, I know how to fight. I'll fucking figure this out. This ain't that big a deal. It's not that much different from Taekwondo or kickboxing. Like, delusional. I got strangled over and over again by everybody. But this one guy in particular, he just was murdering me. And I remember thinking, I got to learn this. Like, this is, like, really important to know. Like, I didn't know how I was that vulnerable.
Have you gotten choked unconscious?
No, never unconscious. I always tap.
Oh, it's terrifying. It's
There you
terrifying.
go, tap.
It's terrifying because you get that moment where you're like,
I definitely sparked out a couple of times where
Really?
I could see the door was closing. You have to tap. You have like a second left before you go out, before you tap. And when someone's got like a really good rear naked choke, once it's locked in and they start to clamp down the pad, like you gotta fucking tap. You gotta tap, especially in training. Like it's stupid to not tap. Because you could really get hurt, especially if you get caught in an arm bar, or worse is like a heel hook or a knee bar. Like you got to tap immediately. You can't take a chance with ripping your joint apart. It's not worth it.
Fuck that.
And I had a lot of injuries from not tapping in time. I had a bad Kimura injury on my elbow. My friend Brent caught me in a Kimura, and I couldn't believe that he got it. I was like, because I usually get him, and I was like, I am going to get him. And then he got me. I'm like, oh my God, he got me. This motherfucker got me. And I didn't want to tap. And I was trying to work my way out of it and work my way out of it. And eventually I had to tap, and I was like, oh, I fucked my elbow up. And I couldn't do chin-ups for like 3 months.
Really?
It was brutal. It was horrible. Every time I do a chin-up, I had agony in my left elbow.
Do you still roll?
No.
Is that because you're back?
No, I want to again, but I've had a few aggravating injuries. I had some sciatica a while back, like real stiffness in the back. But you know what's really changed that a lot is stretching. I've spent like an hour and a half every night just stretching.
Really?
It's loosened everything up. And I realized like sometimes I go too hard and I don't give myself enough recovery. You know, I push a little too far, and then I ignore. Like I had this back thing that was bothering me from archery, and I just ignored it. And it was just a muscle thing, so I wasn't worried about it.
Wait, where is it? Like right in the center of your back over the right?
No, my right on the side. It's on the side by the hips. So I know
lower.
Right. So I know it's not worrying me like a spine thing. Spine things worry me.
Yeah.
But this was inflamed, and I just kept shooting the bow. I just was like, shut up, pussy. And I pushed it to the point where it got kind of chronic, and it bothered me for a while. It's much, much better now. But I'm being real careful to get it to 100% before I think about doing anything. Like right now, I can kick the bag again. I can do pretty much everything again. But it's one of those things where I'm still getting better. Like,
Sweet. When you say stretching, because like after we did I did so much working out, I had a masseuse come in and like kind of test my flexibility because I had some problems in my forearm. Mm-hmm. And my shoulder can't go, like I can't get it past this. And like this one goes way.
Did you have an injury?
I don't know. I have no fucking idea. I think it's for no recovery and no stretching. I do no stretching.
Benching's rough on the elbows, or the shoulders rather.
Yeah.
Benching can get rough, especially if you bench heavy.
Especially when you watch. Have you ever seen the dudes snap a fucking?
Oh yeah, I have seen that. Yeah,
that's all
I
was thinking about.
It pops off, and then you're fucked.
You know Cody Rhodes?
No.
Cody Rhodes is the WWE champion. He's Dusty Rhodes' son.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I fucking tell him I'm doing the bench press competition, and he goes, "Oh, I tore my pec at 315, and I was like, that's the fucking bet. And he was like, oh, you don't even see it coming. Look at his pec.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
He goes, it felt like Velcro. You just heard.
And he wrestled even though his pec was torn?
He wrestled
What
with
an
a torn
animal.
pec.
What a fucking animal.
He is a beast.
Jesus Christ, that's crazy.
Yeah, we did Go Big show together. His dad was the best.
Hell in a cell with a torn pec. These guys are animals.
Dude, well, it's when you're young.
Well, it's also like wrestling. It's like the culture, the pro wrestling culture. The culture is like you're gonna get battered. Like we're battering each other. That's just what
More
it
so
is.
in the past. Those guys really got fucked up.
Oh, dude. I've had a bunch of those guys in here. They tell me the stories. Hulk Hogan and fucking Jake the Snake. Like all these guys are animals. Undertaker.
And they all drank
Animals.
6-packs after the show. Everyone was snorting coke.
They were going from town to town, beating the fuck out of each other.
How much better do you think anabolic steroids are than testosterone?
For as far as like putting weight on and mass, way better.
is it so much more noticeable?
Oh yeah, it's completely cheating.
Have you ever done an anabolic steroid?
Nothing serious. I've never done anything serious. I tried Anavar once, and I've done like some minor stuff. There was some stuff that I got that you used to be able to buy at the store. You used to be able to buy it from GNC, like a vitamin store, and
Really?
they eventually pulled it off the market. I forget what it was called. But it was pills, and holy shit, did this work. It was like legit steroids that you could buy at GNC.
When I was in college, you could buy GHB at GNC.
That's crazy.
Yeah, because you would take a little capful before you went to sleep, and it would
Yes.
burn fat while you slept.
Well, apparently, I was reading about this conspiracy about GHB and about how safe GHB is in small doses and how good it is for you with sleep and recovery. But the problem is people would dump it in people's drinks, and then it was like a date rape drug.
Yeah.
Because if you have a lot of it, you're out of it. You don't know what the fuck is going on. And so then it became the date rape drug, and then it just got pulled from the market, or at least very difficult to get. But yeah, I remember during those days when it was out, like bodybuilders would always talk about it. They were all taking GHB before they go to sleep, and it like has some. Google what the conspiracy is about GHB, but it has some profound effects on recovery, like puts you in deep sleep, and apparently at the right doses, it's very safe.
Really?
Yeah, this doctor was explaining like what had led to it being demonized and but what the actual benefits of GHB are.
Yeah, I remember taking it in college.
You took it?
Yeah, well, to party. We took it. First time I ever took it was on a rock in Greece in the middle of the ocean. A rock in the middle of the ocean.
You're the problem.
Yeah.
People like you.
Well, dude, it was funny shit.
What
Guys
did it do
like,
for you?
Guys he's like, hey, mate, want a little liquid ecstasy? And I was like, sure.
Liquid ecstasy.
That's what he called it. And I found out later it was GHB. But he had like a little dropper capful. And we all took a sip, and all of a sudden you start blowing up a little bit. Used to do that, and there were like the store pills that you'd get. You took enough of those, you'd fucking feel it.
Do you remember when they used to sell salvia? They used to sell salvia in like a head shop, or they would sell bongs.
Yeah.
Salvia was like a super potent psychedelic.
Oh, I still have nightmares of Ari's salvia trip.
Oh my God, we played it on the podcast for him, and he explained it to us that he had a whole life under the sea. He had a whole relationship under the. I think he went to another dimension. That's what I think. He said he was there for months. Had a whole life. GHB's mechanism of action has not been elucidated. It crosses the blood-brain barrier where it interferes with dopamine levels in a complex, dose-dependent way. GHB's relief of the symptoms of narcolepsy is believed to be mediated via these dopaminergic effects. GHB facilitates deep, slow-wave sleep during which growth hormone release naturally increases. This may explain why higher levels of growth hormone have been detected after GHB administration. Yeah, that's why the bodybuilders would take it. There's a lot. Well, this is Derek from More Plates, More Dates was on the podcast, and he was explaining how making steroids illegal when they did that, they've stopped all the research and development that could have made those things very safe. So because they stopped doing any studies on them and they made them a banned substance, then everyone's just reliant upon the ones that are already in existence, and no new ones have been developed. So all the steroids that people are taking are all steroids that have been developed a long, long time ago. And he said it stifled the innovation and the ability to make better, safer ones. That, the problem is the idea of cheating in athletics, right? And it is a real problem. If someone is taking steroids, they have an advantage over people who don't take steroids. But if they could figure out a way to make them safe where they didn't completely fuck up your endocrine system, there should be an argument where if it makes you perform better but doesn't have a detrimental effect on you, then athletes should take it.
Yes.
But people don't like that idea because they don't want someone to have some massive advantage in any sort of a sport.
It also goes into like society, the demonizing of anyone on a semi-glutide.
Yeah.
I mean, people get shit on, like I joke that Tom's on Ozempic all the time. I think he is, but whatever.
You do think he is?
Oh, fuck yeah.
Really?
When have we ever known Tom to put in the hard work to lose the weight?
But he's been really disciplined.
Or is he going?
You
anyway,
really think so?
No, I'm joking.
No, you're fucking around.
I'm fucking around a little bit.
A little bit, but not really.
Not really.
You
Not
might
really.
think he would do it and not tell you.
I don't know.
Really?
Oh, his wife was on it.
Interesting.
She got sick on it. She
so
overdosed.
did Brian Simpson. Brian Simpson got real sick.
So did Bobby Lee. Did you see Bobby Lee threw up on a video? It's fucking hysterical.
No. Yeah, folks, just carnivore diet. Just eat meat and eggs, and you'll lose weight. I guarantee you will. You'll feel great too.
But it is crazy how people. This is when he was on Ozempic, and they were trying to shoot a promo, and he kept going, Santino, I don't feel good, and he's like, shut up, Bobby, let's just get it.
So does he actually puke? Oh yeah. Oh boy.
Oh my God! Now I'm gagging.
All right, Bert Kreischer, let's wrap this bitch up.
Joe,
I love you to death.
I love
You're
you
the best.
to death, man. Hey,
looking forward to hanging out with you while you're here.
Permission to Party World Tour starts October 18th.
Yep.
I'm in Vegas this weekend. More importantly, my special Lucky
available right now.
Streaming right now on Netflix. I hope you guys like it.
Shirt.
It's shirt
That's very Pablo
matching
Escobar
pants.
of you.
Shirt and matching pants.
Nice.
Yeah, I really stepped it up a bit, Joe.
I like it. I like the look. All right, brother.
Love you to death.
I love you to death.
Thank you.